What's up, everybody? Jeremy inside the Coils, Warfels, Morphs. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Got a couple people here in the chat already popping in, so awesome. Thank you very much. Got some awesome people on with us tonight. We've got Gabby and her son, Gabby and her husband, James. I cannot talk. I'm not feeling exactly 100%. But Forkin Reptiles, gone backstage. I was hoping John was going to be on here with us tonight. John's slacking now. But because John thought I said something completely different last week on the live when we were hopping off. He questioned what I actually said. Sadly, John's not going to be with us tonight. He might try to hop in. We'll have to see. He was supposedly putting up a fence or fixing his fence, something. If you talk about the crap that he gives me about being colorblind, you should see the color matching skills he did on this fence. Completely nowhere close. So let's go ahead and bring out co-host number one that's with us that isn't slacking. Either that or he has no life.
What's
Mr. Sorrentino.
up, everybody?
For all you juggalos and juggalettes.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, God. All right. You guys got to watch last week's episode to even find out why we even got or how we even got onto that train. But anywho. All right, let's go ahead and bring out James and Gabby because I feel bad for him for being stuck with just the two of us. I mean, the two clowns out of the other voices of reason. What's up, Gabby and James?
How's it going?
It's good to be able to hear you. Folks, you would think.
Where's your carpet pythons?
They actually do have a carpet. They actually got they got a bunch of different stuff that they're working with, dude.
Yep.
But look at that. Look at their awesome color scheme, folks. Look at that. It's
it's
matches to
really
a T. It is so scary. Matching to a T. But anyway, you would be surprised that even after 4 seasons of doing this show, that I can still manage to screw up audio check so badly that I forgot to turn my speakers on, and I was telling them it was their problem. It didn't dawn on me. Somehow my speakers got turned off. So, yeah, that's why the late start. Well, tell you what, sometimes it just never ceases to amaze me how much I can screw something up. Been one of them days, folks. One of them days. Let's go through, say hi to some people. We've got Vance Blue Zombie. What's going on? Good to see you.
Hey.
Tara, Voodoo Doll Royals, channel member. She wants to know if, let's see, she said something here a little bit later. She wanted to know if James knew you left the house without telling him.
That's the Acid Queen. I'm going to call her the Acid Queen.
The Acid Queen?
Yeah, she likes some acids.
Hey, nothing wrong with a little bit of acid here and there. Jason, what's going on? Another channel member. Good to see you, man. Mike, M&K, what's going on? Macomorph, what's going on? Good to see you. James, JNS Exotics, what's going on?
Hey, James.
Shane, what's going on?
Hey, Shane.
Chris, another channel member. Hey. What's going on, dude? Look at this. It's got to be Christine because we all know John isn't savvy enough to get on here by himself.
Wow.
But it's amazing that they could be in the chat. They don't want to be here where the cool kids are. Tell you what, I'm just exactly. Shame, Christine, shame. Oh God. I warned you guys, it's gonna be a holy crap. Andy, I have not seen this guy for a long ass time.
Ooh, I like that car.
Well, him and me go way back to he's the guy that helped me soup up my Trans Am like it was. If you can't tell, he's got one very similar. It's kind of badass. We had just two slightly opposite ends of the spectrum with the Trans Ams. But Andy, good to see you, dude. Happy Memorial Day as well. And happy Memorial Day to everybody else out there. Make sure you guys are safe if you're setting off any fireworks or anything. Safe barbecuing. Don't be, overdoing it on the starting fluid.
Don't blow your fingers off.
Yeah, definitely don't be blowing off no fingers. Apparently, this is John. So,
Dude.
John, if you can be here, why aren't you here? Like, come on, dude. Like, come on.
Exactly.
He's pulling it. Nate can get away with it, John, not you. Like, we know Nate's a busy man. You, however, we know you're not busy. Endless Sports, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's go ahead and run a channel sponsor, and we will get this show on the roll. If I can remember how to do all this crap. All right, here we go.
ShedTesting.com is your premier.
Hold on, StreamYard's being a.
ShedTesting.com is your premier choice when it comes to shed testing. Charlie is adding new tests on a regular basis, so make sure to stop by often to see what's been added to the website. Let ShedTesting.com shave years off of your breeding plans. They're fast, accurate, and can't be beat. Don't forget to use the code CARPET15 at checkout to save 15% off of your order. ShedTesting.com. Use the best.
ShedTesting.com, guys. Make sure you guys use that code. I'm listening while finishing up. Well, finish up, then get your butt on here. Damn, all right, this is scary. Sorrentino and I are never in sync like this.
Really
I need to get on here and interrupt this synchronization before I
winning.
But also, before we do get started on this, I want to say something, folks. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. This week's video, if they all shut out, will be the bang clutch. So you all got to shut out, but it should be the bang clutch this week's video. Also, there are some snakes on my morph market currently that are on a sale. So
75 off.
What's that?
75 off.
No. I didn't do a Wilbank sale. I did a Jeremy sale. So it's respectable discounts, respectable prices. Here's some balls on discount, and the Lone Star male carpet, he is up there. He is on sale. He's not like a fire sale. He is on sale. Picture that is on his profile was taken today because he just shed. So definitely, if you guys want to get a killer jungle male at a good price, get him within. I think the sale. Well, by the time the sale ends.
That was a holdback too, wasn't it?
He was a holdback, yes. And I'm
go.
still not told that he's not going to remain a holdback.
There you go.
Because him and his brother, man, it's a toss up. It's just like that boy shed today, and I'm just like, damn it, I don't know if I want to get rid of him. And I pull his brother out, just like, damn it, I don't know if I can get rid of you though either, because they're both stunning. The one that shed today, he's getting a lot better. He's made leaps and bounds from where he was. He's got a little attitude to him though. His brother, however, you just reach in, pull him out, and he doesn't really give two shits about anything. He's just mellow, laid back. By all means, a puppy dog. So that's kind of like they're both great quality, but he's got the attitude a little bit better. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at as far as why I'm holding on to him. Just maybe breathe that mentality into the babies throughout the rest of the season or in the future. Jamie, what's going on? Another channel member, Robinson Exotic Reptiles. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yes, everybody, hit that like button, please. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Got 22 people in here with us tonight. So far, anyway. I heard you said you got some diversity, Jamie. Congrats. You believe that's kind of been like my motto here lately is diversity. And James and Gabby have a lot of diversity because I was stalking a little bit deeper in on the Instagram, and you guys are really sneaky with some of those pictures because there's one you've got a day gecko on there, which I don't know how my colorblind ass missed, but once I realized and noticed it, I'm just like, holy crap! But we'll dive into that. Why don't you guys go ahead, tell us a little bit about yourselves first, and kind of give us the backstory on it.
Sure. So we're Forkin Reptiles. We don't necessarily have a focus, I would say. We delved into boas, ball pythons, carpets now. We're have a new project coming up with house snakes as well. So we just picked up a few of those. A lot of the New Caledonia geckos. Jumping spiders now. The tokays.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Huggies.
Day geckos. Which one?
Huggies.
Yeah, hognose, big one as well. Yeah. So we kind of got started back high school, right? Having a ball or a bearded dragon, learning a lot about bearded dragons and taking care of them, and learning that I don't want a bearded dragon again. As much as I love them, they are like the highest maintenance, like lowest entry kind of pet you can have. So that kind of delved into trying to keep going forward with reptiles. My mom would let me get snakes, so bearded dragon was an equal compromise, I guess.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we started to go to reptile expos. So Mid Atlantic was actually the first reptile expo we went to, and we got a couple boas there. Didn't know really much about them, but we started to just keep them. And then we got into the hognose. I will say, admittedly, it is because of YouTube a lot for the hog. It's kind of a big thing for a lot of people now. And then COVID, I worked from home. She worked from home, and it kind of kicked off. We had an albino boa and a normal boa, and we were seeing all the different morphs that you could do and get. And then you see the price tag, and you're like, I really don't want to pay that. So then it kind of, again, snowballs into the genetics piece. And I was already, I took genetics in college, like basic biology classes, doing the Punnett squares and everything like that. So it wasn't completely foreign to me, but it definitely helped kind of achieve a different level of it.
Yeah.
And then so we started to pick up boas that could make the genetics that we wanted to. And because we're like, all right, let's try our hand at this. So that kind of kicked off everything. And then we just kind of branched out slowly into these different projects in different species. So
Nice. Dude, I gotta say, the boas, like my buddy Mike did the boa stuff, and he tried to teach me that stuff. I, for the life of me, cannot maintain the information of ball python genetics and then top it off with boa genetics, because they're, I think boa genetics are even more confusing than what the ball python genetics are. And they work the same, granted, but maybe it's just I can't maintain all that, information.
I think it's part of the names too, right? Like you'll have, for example, corn snakes, right? You call them amel, they're albino, right? Whereas a boa, you could have 4 or 5 different strands of albino.
Yep.
And then ball pythons, you have the lavender, which I guess would be considered an albino, right? And then they have the normal albinos. So it's like, I think everybody's naming conventions like kind of throws a wrench into what trying, like you have to learn it species by species. So
Definitely. And like here's like the thing too is like, isn't Ultramel and Monarch, aren't they versions of albinism as well? They're like what? T, or would they be like the T negatives or the T positives? I forgot.
Yeah, real quick, is there audio choppy for you too?
No.
Oh, because it's choppy on my iPad, it's choppy on my phone. It's hard to listen to.
I can move a little closer. Maybe that will help.
I'm getting like air and like mic stuff, and it's choppy. It's breaking up.
Rizzo's saying it's everybody in the chat. Is it choppy like for everybody? Am I the only one hearing it clear?
Yeah, because I thought maybe it was just my iPad, but then I muted this and played it on my phone, and it's choppy on my phone too. It's like
It's choppy.
It's choppy.
Yeah.
Try back
I
out.
think it's because of the
Come back
AirPods.
in. Are you doing the audio through the AirPods?
No, we have a microphone here, but it's not the best microphone. I have a Yeti behind me. It's just plugged into a different computer, so I can always plug it over if need be.
Yeah, see? They're saying it's choppy too.
Try plugging the other one in once, and let's just see if that fixes it for us, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So while they do that,
it's
I'll
just
run it. What's that, Chris?
No, it's just it's like airy and choppy. It's breaking up. I just couldn't understand.
See,
I didn't hear a thing.
I never would have known to think or even ask about that just because it was coming through crystal clear for me.
Really?
Yeah. Like
I thought it was, that's the thing. I thought it was my iPad. Maybe it was getting a lag with the internet, the Wi-Fi, but
no,
I tried it on my phone too.
It was smooth and clear sailing on my end. So while they do that, let me run another sponsor ad here because I'm always so bad about getting those out at the right times.
Head on over to Triforce Morse.
And if freaking StreamYard would stop doing its crap. Dude, like I click on it and it gives me a black screen.
Yeah, I don't know how any of that works.
Heck?
I don't know how that works.
Like I'm tempted to like delete everything and re-upload it. All right, here we go. Let's try this again.
Head on over to Triforce Morse if you're looking for that missing piece in your ball python breeding project. While you're there, add a little bit of lace or citron to the mix, folks. John and Christine can also hook you up with the crested gecko, so don't forget that. Turn up the heat with Triforce Morse. If you want to use the best reptile record keeping and tracking software on the market today, scan the QR code or click our partnership link in the description down below for a free 30-day trial of Husbandry Pro. I promise you, you will not regret it.
All right. I'm still muted right now, so all right.
See if you can. Does it sound better?
Way better.
It sounds
Okay.
like it even
Yeah,
sounds
to me.
crisper on my end too. Like, damn.
Yeah, it sounds way better.
Is it better for everybody else in the chat there? Once they say something, we'll. All right, Rizzo says it sounds fantastic. All right, awesome. That fixed the issue. Well, they get set up here, Chris. What you got? Anything new going on over there that you want to push out for any sales going on?
Well, I mean, I had that the special het pied laid a clutch today. I mean, it wasn't anything special about it. I mean, it was a clown pied to a special het pied. So hopefully hit a special pied het clown. Yeah, I like the way special pieds look.
Okay.
I wish there was genes in my mouth. I wish I had an OD yellow belly clown pied to that, something like that. Wish there was some genes in it, but
I mean, it's a good base though. At least,
yeah.
Mean, that base you get some other snakes that are going to be saleable that aren't going to be like junk snakes.
Yeah. Yeah, I figure probably hopefully hold back like a male special pied het clown.
And special pieds are the ones that have the Terminator eyes, right?
Yep, they got the Terminator, the half face, and all that.
Yeah,
some are high white. Sometimes you get them with some color pattern on them.
Those
mine will probably be high white because there's no entry or anything, giving it pattern.
Okay, nice.
I've been stalking their page.
I like Gabby's headphones.
Yeah, they're sweet. Look at her. She's happy. She likes them too. She's happy.
The ears light up and everything. I love it. It's a good thing Hadley doesn't watch this because Hadley's got a pair very similar, but Hadley would be hitting me up for a pair of pink ones then. So as long as the little one here doesn't see it, we're good. All right. So what all species are you working with now, guys? Can't hear Gabby.
Okay. All right, so I will talk then. We're doing boas. We've severely dropped down our ball python collection. We're not trying to do really much with ball pythons right now.
Okay.
We still have a couple, but we are also doing the African house snakes. So we have some KZNs,
cool.
KZN reds. And then we're doing the tokays. So we just picked up some tokays. We went to Flora Fauna. We got some tokays, some Japanese cave geckos.
Ooh,
and
they're cool.
All right. We're gonna take Paul's.
The tokays, I don't know. They're kind of mean.
All right. To this day, I had a tokay years ago. That sky blue with that bright ass hunter orange spots. That is a look you cannot get with anything else.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for their freaking little attitude. But like, I'm told that they're not all little SOBs, though. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of them are. They just have that mentality that they are, and I think that it is a correct like title for them. A lot of people are saying that when you handle them as younger, it's a little bit easier. They're not as much of an SOB when they grow up, but they are very timid when they're younger. So even getting your hands on them is very difficult. So you have to kind of wait until they get a little older. And so it's like a catch-22. You can't handle them when they're too young because they'll start just running away, and it's not fun to catch them. And then you can't wait till they get too big, or you're just gonna get ripped to shreds. So
Yeah, as I say, Tokay's got a hell of a bite to him. If I remember from picture, mine never bit me, but I've seen pictures and I learned very early: do not let that sucker latch onto you.
yeah, it won't let go. No.
Now, like, is there morse with those? There's got to be morse to an extent, right?
There are. We just have the wild type. Okay. Partially because we wanted to do completely captive bred. I didn't want to get any wild caught animals, so finding captive bred ones with morphs, you're either gonna pay like an exorbitant amount of money, or you're just not gonna find them. So, there's like if you look on Morph Market, there's maybe a handful of Tokays even available. So it was kind of like on the whim. We saw them. They were captive bred. We're like, we're getting these.
Yeah.
Now, is there a big market for those? I mean, like, I don't really think there's a lot of people working them, so I would imagine that the market's got to be at least. I mean, people seem to like spicy animals. I mean, I don't understand the attraction to it, but I'm not going to complain because I think that's what gets carpets a good bit too.
I don't think there's like that big of a market, but I also don't want to like mass produce them either. I want to get some nice ones that I can show off in a sense. But yeah, I don't foresee people going out. It's like you see some of the venomous at some of the shows, right? Some of the people that are buying them are like few and far between, and I feel like if you breed them, you know that, so you're gonna be holding on to a large stock of them. I think it's the same thing with some of the spicy animals like Tokays, even though they're not venomous. Kind of the same mentality.
Kind of just that being branded how they are. Kind of, I get it. Now, what about with like, what are some of the morphs in the Tokays though that you want to get into?
So I'm not too big on the morphs, right? Which one? She likes the Starry Nights, which are like the black with just white specks.
Ooh,
but
that's speaking my language.
I know they have the pied as well, but those are also like a really like particular morph. Trying to find them as well. The sky blues, like you had mentioned, I do really like the wild type, especially when they're younger, because they have like a super paper white tail, like it's like a striped tail, and they just look really cool. But
now, what the like are the sky blues the wild types, or am I missing something? Because I always thought that was like how they were naturally in the wild.
They kind of come like a granite looking color in the wild.
Ooh, okay.
So the sky blues, they can come sky blue from the wild, but it's like less of a type, I guess, if you will. Like if you go like ball pythons, right? You can get pastels in the wild, but the majority of them are going to be normals. So
makes sense. That's interesting. Like the gecko world has always kind of fascinated me because I don't do anything with it. I really don't do any research on it. Just because that's I don't. Let's face it. I mean, yes, I did the expansion. I don't have the room to toy with geckos, so I don't even remotely tempt myself, because if I get tempted, I jump into shit, and then the rest is history, to say the least. Now, what about the Japanese cave geckos, though?
Yeah, so we just got into those two. They have part of the reason why I picked them up too is there are not many people are working with the Japanese cave geckos. A lot of people are working with the Chinese cave geckos, so you can't even find them on Morph Market. But I figured I'd put my hand on it, try to see. I've always been interested in them, in it from a gecko perspective. They have very similar care to the New Caledonia from a temperature, and they're just more they're insectivores. So you're feeding roaches to them instead of crested gecko diet and some crickets. But they like it very humid. They're very shy. So they're not really like a handleable. You can handle them, but they're not like something you would go. You can go get a crested gecko or a lychee out of the enclosure, hold them for 20 minutes. Cave geckos are not ones you want to try to do that with. You'll stress them out too much. So they're kind of like close to a chameleon in that sense.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming that basically you're stuck with basically just the wild type of those, correct?
Yeah.
There
But
might not been a whole lot done with them at this point if you can't even find them in general.
yeah, the ones that we got were we got a male from Richie from Gecko King, and then we got a female from Nightshade. He's in Massachusetts, and his cave geckos have like a really deep reddish orange hue to them, whereas like the normal ones you'll see have kind of a duller orange. So we're hoping that kind of gives an indication as to producing some of those and helping to line breed them a little bit. And I say line breeding loosely, especially in the gecko community. I don't want to be, persecuted for it, but I think that getting that like super rich orange reddish color is definitely going to be. It's going to be an outcross of just line breeding for the most part.
Definitely
Yeah.
cool.
No,
And the Japanese cave geckos, they keep their pattern and their color as they get older, whereas the Chinese cave geckos lose it a bit and they become more of like a leopard gecko looking. They don't have the stripes. They get the spotting.
That's what I was gonna. I'm gonna Google.
I didn't know there was
Japanese.
different ones. I just heard cave geckos. I didn't know there was That's good to know. That's cool. I know Bob Vu picked up some a couple years ago. Because I seen them, I was like, holy crap, cave geckos. Those things are badass.
Okay, yeah, see, this is... All right, hold on, let me...
You all right over there? Ooh.
Yeah, I'm trying to... I'm trying to get this picture to blow up so I can show everybody here real quick. But, like, the picture's blurry as hell, and...
Well, I seen they got the electric blue day geckos. Those things are so cool.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
I always see them on Morph Market, but it's always like, they always have like a, not representative photo and wild card. And
just so everybody can see what we're talking about.
Oh, wow. They're really orange.
Like, that's badass. Like,
that is. That's really cool.
So they stay like that their whole life.
Yep. Whereas like I said, the Chinese cave geckos, they kind of dull out a little bit and they lose the striping for the most part.
Okay.
So
do you just keep them dark all the time?
Yeah, not necessarily. We do keep them in a terrestrial setup. We don't provide them the UVB for this because most of the time they're in their hide and they're nocturnal. So, but they do. You will find them out. Like I went into the enclosure yesterday, and the male was just chilling, just right on one of the rocks. So, it's a. Whereas the female, like you have to go look for her every single time. It's like, are you okay? So,
yeah, are you alive?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, hopefully you don't mind sharing. What do the Japanese cave geckos run roughly?
So typically around for a juvenile, about $650-$700 for a female.
Okay.
Yep.
See, that's actually better than what I thought. I was expecting you to be up more at that like $1,000 mark.
See, that's the one thing that bothers me about the gecko world. Like they sell stuff unsexed. I don't get that. I don't know how anyone could buy animals unsexed.
Yeah, I at least try to give like my best judgment as to do I see pores or not. Cave geckos are a little bit harder. You can't sex them until they get a little bit older. Okay. But there's some people that like you go talk to, for example, Boris from BB's, and he can tell you immediately just from looking at the lychee if it's a male or female. So
really,
yeah, he's pretty accurate with it too. So,
See, that's like my big thing with the green trees too. Is like you can't sex them until they're like basically beyond a year old.
Yeah, see, I'd have a problem with that, buying like 2 females or 2 males, just, yeah.
That's been like my one big fear with starting the Green Tree project up is
You need
I got
to
two
tell
killer
Charlie to get on
examples,
that
but if I
shed
got 2
testing.
males, I'm screwed. I'm going to be year and a half, 2 years behind schedule. But if I got 2 females, I'm going to be spot on. Or if I have a perfect pair, I'm set.
Yeah.
But that hitting 2 males, I'm not going to lie, that sits right in the back of my head going,
Oh, yeah.
that's what it is. That's what you got. It's 2 males.
Yeah.
Either hit
Larry
the
had
odds or
that
you don't.
issue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if you saw how the odds hit on my bang clutch, yeah. You would understand why I'm kind of like, what do I got sitting over here?
I'm going to pat you on the head. Yeah, you think hopefully they come out with a shed test, man, because that'll be a game changer, or at least pluck a scale off and do a DNA test or something like that.
Well, see, the other thing is too, like with the green trees, apparently the way their sex chromosomes are or something, you can't, like, it's a pain in the neck to try to get them to figure out the sex test because there's something screwy with it.
Really?
Yeah, like there's something. I think it's with how the chromosomes are. I don't know. I'm no geneticist.
What, they got like late forming chromosomes where they could change sex?
Dude, I have no idea, man.
Really?
But apparently that's what the holdup is, that there's something with the chromosomes or something like that. I mean, I think we'd have to talk to Charlie because I think he was doing something with trying to figure that out as well with the green trees. I think there's a lot of people on that boat trying to figure the green trees out.
Yeah. I think the gecko world's bigger.
Well, the gecko, do the cave geckos eat their sheds though, like most other geckos?
I don't think so. I haven't actually seen them shed. I've seen pieces of it in their enclosure, but I haven't seen like a full shed.
Okay. Yeah, but if you could pluck scales like balls, I mean, you should be able to pluck scales,
Yeah.
Geckos.
Oh, you would think, yeah.
Be cool if you could just swab their mouth and
use like the saliva.
Not the daddy.
Now, what seems to be, and maybe it's too early to tell because they're so new to the industry, but do you think that the Japanese cave geckos are going to be a bigger hit than the Chinese cave geckos just because of maintaining that pattern?
I don't think so, just because, like, if you look at a cave gecko and you don't know anything about reptiles, right, you're going to think it's a leopard gecko. Okay. So I think unless you are like specifically seeking out that, subspecies, I don't think it's going to be one or the other. The Chinese cave geckos are just so much more plentiful in the U.S. and so much easier to find that I think that that's going to be the breaker there.
Okay. Nice thing is, though, with you guys getting in so early on this, you're kind of able to make your name in that market. Because I don't know if I've seen the Chinese cave geckos. I don't think I've ever seen the Japanese cave geckos, though, other than the pictures now.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it works out in that way. But there's I feel like there is a niche to it. Just like if you were to go and breed, I don't know, jumping spiders, right? Like with her, she's starting with the jumping spiders, and you'll get those people that are like just deathly afraid of jumping spiders that don't want anything to do with them, and people that are only trying to find the high white jumping spiders. So it's like,
oh, all right. Let's talk about. All right, we're gonna talk about these spiders now here. I wish my wife was here for this conversation because, Gabby, she would look at you and tell you that you are batshit crazy. What is the whole obsession with the spiders? Because I'm not like that's what you see a lot of people buying at shows is the spiders. I gotta say the displays that people are coming up with are badass.
Yeah,
especially the Star Wars displays, freaking awesome. But anyway. Like, is this like a whole new wave? Like, are spiders like that new thing? Do you think that, like, It's a very common pet now at this
TikTok.
point?
It's TikTok's fault. That's why my wife is making all this sourdough. It's TikTok's fault.
It's TikTok's.
All right, so she's saying there's Lucas, the spider,
Animated,
like an animated short film. Spiders on TikTok.
Okay.
Told you.
Yeah, so then she was also saying like the enclosures, right? So they're cute and small, so you can do that customization with the enclosures, and you can go and do the Star Wars one, or I think she was looking at one with like Stitch and like little dragons and stuff like that. So
What they only live like a couple of years, right? Like 2-3 years.
yeah, I think they're like 2 years, right? 2 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
And then
my wife found one out back, and then I've seen one today on my car.
Yeah, she found one at Walmart. So she texted me. She's like, "I'm bringing something home." I was like, "What are you bringing home now?" And she came home with the jumping spider that she found on her car from Walmart.
So like literally like these are literally spiders that you can just like there's nothing super fancy about them. Like they're like are there spiders from other countries that people are importing and stuff or like
So there are different morphs.
Okay.
Yep. So there's the high whites, and once I get her microphone working, she'll be able to do it, speak a little bit better to it. But there are the high whites. She got an Oreo, which is like black and white, and then there's like reverse Oreo. So there's different morphs to it and different colors to it, and so I don't get the fascination with it, but she does.
We heard her for a second.
Can you hear me?
Might have been through my mic.
I think we're picking her up through your mic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm installing the driver for her mic right now because she doesn't usually use this mic on my computer.
Okay. Tech stuff. We all know I'm not good with tech stuff.
I just so happen to work in technology, so it's
the whole spider thing. I said, I mean, like, that's the one thing that I've seen religiously selling at shows, are people selling spiders. So like it's just been a very I don't know. Like, I think I sit back and I look at it. It's like you could go catch these things, and apparently, your people are using ones that they're probably just catching around town and selling them with their little displays. So it's just like, huh, okay, and like somebody's on to something with it.
What are they like crickets?
Fruit flies, crickets, dubia, like the pinhead crickets. But since I do the micro geckos, she just takes a couple fruit flies and throws it in there too. So
Damn, micro geckos are cool.
yeah, we do like clemeri, so like the neon day geckos, the blue day geckos,
they're so
the
cool.
morning geckos, which I think that's like a staple for most of the people. The Uris, yeah. So agricoli, occidentalis, like the chameleon, the false chameleon geckos.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, I just like blue geckos.
Oh,
they are like super blue too. It's
Which
not like an
one?
exaggeration. The electric blue day geckos.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Are they?
I got
like,
blue barons.
Yeah, only the boys are blue. That's the the girls have like a green.
Yeah.
Like John, Christine, this is why I wish John and Christine were here, because they just got into day geckos, and I don't remember what kind of day geckos they got, but they were like a turquoise, like sky bluish color. Like they weren't electric blue.
There's a couple that are like they do the what are they called? They're in the same species family as the blue day geckos. The Lego, I forget what they are. They start with an L. And they have different ones in there that aren't as blue as the day gecko, the electric blue day geckos, but they get a little bit bigger. There's also some of the other subspecies, like the Felsumas also have kind of a blue tint to them as well. So it could be like just a number of different ones.
John, Christine, somebody whichever one of you is, which kind of day geckos did you guys get? I know they got them from Ian, I think. But no, like, are they like very handleable? Like, are they? They're crazy too. Like the Tokay's just maybe not the attitude.
Yeah, they're more of a morning gecko, right? They are purely look and don't touch. The only time I'm able to touch them
Really?
is when they come out of the egg. Yeah.
Interesting. Hey,
Yep.
Julia.
So the day geckos you can't even handle?
Some of the day geckos you can, like the giant day geckos, you can definitely handle them. But the electric blues, I wouldn't try to.
Man, wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Look at this
That's
guy.
the downside of them.
The standing day geckos is what they
Okay.
got. That's what they got. Like, the day geckos, I've always thought they were cool. I had the gold dust day geckos like when I was a kid, and I thought those were amazing. And then when I got older and then I started seeing like that they're in blues. I'm just like, good God, like I would have loved to have something like that as a kid. Like, are you?
You should
Like,
get
are you breeding those at the moment, or are you just growing them up at this time?
Yeah, we're breeding them. It was definitely a learning curve in the beginning, because they definitely need an enclosure that is miniature, but exactly like the parents. And they have to have a hotspot. So they have a hotspot of about 90 degrees.
Really?
And it's difficult to do in this little 8x8 enclosure. So you have like this little micro lamp on top of it. A lot of people would do like the halogen pucks to get the hot zone for it. Problem is everything going away from halogen, and finding those pucks are a little bit harder now. So
Yeah.
So, like, you can't keep them in a bigger enclosure. Like, well, what's the reason you can't keep them in, like, say, like the babies in an adult size enclosure?
you can do that. It's just gonna be really hard to find them.
Okay.
The idea behind it is to make sure that they are eating. Like
Okay. That makes
it's
sense.
just like most of the babies, right? You can put a baby ball python in this massive enclosure as long as
Yeah.
you give it enough hides and like you're able to feed it and make sure it's eating. It's the same kind of idea behind that.
Okay.
But the only thing is with the Williams eye, the electric blue day geckos, you also can't keep them with their parents. So we keep the parents in a 24 by 24 or 18 by 18 by 24. So it's pretty decent sized enclosure for these little geckos that are like that big. And we
Wow.
just have pairs in each of them.
Okay.
The parents will actually eat the babies for that
Wow.
species. So
Wow. All right. Mom and dad suck at being parents. Okay. That's
Yep. Do you,
interesting.
Well, they do eggs, right? Do you do maternal?
no. We incubate them. It's room temperature, but we take them out, and I usually use a sim container. I put the eggs in the sim container and kind of like we use the floral tubes, and I'll just stick it in between them,
Okay.
so it's keeping the humidity and everything up. And
You
then
do
when it gets closer to time,
bioactive?
for the most part, yeah, for the parents, definitely.
Oh,
For the
cool.
baby, we try to do also bioactive. I bought like 20 of the 8x8 little baby Exoterra enclosures to
Nice.
start setting up all bioactives.
Nice.
So I'm not very good with the bioactive stuff. So once you get them set up in the bioactives, basically your maintenance as far as cleaning is you don't got to do nothing because the bugs.
Yeah, you just got to make sure it's spraying.
Okay.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure it's moist because you want to make sure the isopods are gonna stay alive, right? I think that's the biggest part of it, but also the humidity for the babies. But yeah, you have the springtails in there that will eat any mold that comes up. And they'll help churn the soil with the isopods. But sometimes you might have to clean the window if they like poop on the window. But that's about it.
That's not bad though.
No.
Yeah, I guess I always go back to the early days of like gecko keeping before everything got fancy and people started knowing what the hell they were talking about and doing. And it just like it was always such a pain in the ass to try to pull the thing out and clean everything perfect. Like the bioactive stuff wasn't a thing back then when I was doing the gecko stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely come a long way. There's so many different sources that you can get it from as well. So it just makes it a lot easier.
Okay. Now, Do the day geckos need the UVB stuff to help them with the calcium absorption and everything?
Yep. So for all of our day geckos, we have UVB, and then we have the hotspot too. So I have a dual T5 running UVB, and then I have a day like a what is it? Just like a normal grow lamp in that, and then I have a little like small puck light in the back.
Okay.
You still using T5s? You don't, because I think they have LED now.
Yeah. It's an expensive
Yeah.
endeavor to switch over. But
Well, I
yeah,
know them bulbs are expensive too.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually try to get the Arcadia, so at least last a year. But
Now, do all day geckos, or at least the ones that you're working with, eat the Pangea stuff too? Or are
they
they
do.
more insectivores than what I'm thinking?
They definitely prefer to go after the bugs, but you'll definitely see them going over and just lapping up the crested gecko diet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other thing too. Like back then, when I did the geckos and everything, or had them, that Pangea stuff wasn't a thing. It was all bugs. That was it.
Yeah.
So the Pangea has definitely opened up a whole new way of keeping, an easier way of keeping, I think. Anyway.
It makes it easier to sell too, to be completely honest, because you sell somebody, they don't have to feed bugs to a crested gecko, and they are all on board because a lot of the moms will come over and they're like, I don't want to feed mice or rats, or I don't want to feed dubia and crickets.
Yeah.
So
Here's a Slurpee.
yeah, just go mix this with a little bit of water and there you go.
Keith wants to know, do you use a solar meter? And if so, what do you try to keep it at for your UVB?
We do, and I want to say that we don't. I can't necessarily tell you what we keep it at for the UVB because the solar meter, within the last year, we've switched over our UVB within like the first 6 months that we got it. So just to be on the safe side, solar meter was a little bit of an afterthought after we got it, and I honestly haven't used it as much as I should have.
Well, is like a solar meter like a must though, or is it just like, well, what's it doing? Is it just measuring?
It's a good, yeah, it's a good husbandry piece. There are two different versions. Keep that in mind because I bought the wrong one. There's one that measures how much UVB is getting down, and then there's some that I believe it measures how much, what is it? The output of the lamp. There's like two different ones.
Damn, they're
but-
expensive.
Yeah, they're like $250.
I was gonna say, holy crap.
Yeah, and they're sold out most of the time too. So you try to go buy one, and even Pangea doesn't have it. So it is hard to find.
Okay. Now, what would you recommend for anybody that wants to get in like day geckos, and maybe even the setups would even work for crested geckos possibly as well? What's a good setup for people to, think about or to go after and try to mimic?
Bioactive. Yeah, I love the like built out. I think it's easier to build out an enclosure and then put the gecko in, like with the mentality of that you want to put a gecko in it later on, right? So with the day geckos, I always put them, at least the smaller geckos, the standing day geckos and the giant Madagascar geckos. Those are way bigger and they will need a bigger enclosure. But with the 18 by 18 by 24 or the 12 by 12 by 18 for the electric blues, build them out, do the foam background. You can also do a lot of live plants, so the air plants, and doing a lot of like pothos and stuff like that in there. Let them grow up a bit, and then introduce the gecko. But I would 100% go the bioactive route every time for those geckos. It not only helps the gecko, it helps you, right? You trying to maintain an enclosure, change out paper towels at the bottom, or do something like that, keep the humidity where you need it. If you don't have a bioactive enclosure for those, it's almost near impossible to keep those. And then also not having to chase a gecko that got out, which is not fun at all. So
It's funny you say it like that because every time I'm over at the local pet shop, like my son Hudson always picks out the lizard that got away, basically. But he points it out every time when we're at there at the pet shop, and it's just like, wow, like I wonder how many actual like anoles and geckos have escaped while people are trying to pick a certain one out of the tank. Like it's just like, yeah.
When we went to Nerd, like
Ooh,
4 or 5 years ago at this point. We did a tour, and the guy that was giving us the tour said there are random tokays throughout the building because they got out, and he's like, you know what? We kept them. We didn't try to catch them or anything because they're gonna eat the bugs that get out. So
Yeah.
That's very true. That's funny though. That's funny. There's the hell with it. Just let them go. Gabby, is your mic up yet?
Hey, Ronan, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm gonna use the choppy mic because my headset mic's not working. Sorry.
Hey, at least we can hear you. So tell us, since you're up and talking, tell us about your spiders a little bit.
It depends what you want to know. I like to try to get from the breeders that more so do not have the wild caughts. I like to know that they've bred them in house and that they're captive bred versus, oh, I went outside and grabbed this for you kind of thing. So
is there a quality difference or what's your reason? Like, what's the reasoning for it?
usually when I talk to somebody at a show, that's more of like my one-on-one personal experience. Like I get to know them as a breeder and I get to see them kind of if you're like buying it in the market of buying a ball python kind of situation. Like you don't want to just buy from somebody that just imported, and that they've got something on their table that's randomly that they got from whoever sometimes. So I like that personal experience one-on-one, and knowing that my animal is going to be healthy and taken care of. Now, I know some of the wild caught are more, they're not as friendly. If you talk to certain people, they do bite. I'm not sure what it feels like. I've heard it feels like a bee sting. So,
Ooh, yeah.
I heard the tokay bites hurt.
The tokay bites do hurt from what I've been told. But all right. So people are actually holding the jumping spiders. All right, see, my wife would be freaking out right now. Kara would be like, we're done. Peace out. This is like, won't you be afraid of losing them?
I do get afraid. They don't jump very far. I mean, they have their little lifeline, their little web that they kind of spin out. So if they do jump off you, they're kind of dangling off of that. So they'll be okay. You can just kind of scoop them up. They don't go very far. So
Okay. See, that's what I like. I just can't. Spiders, bugs as pets have always. I don't know how I want to put it. It's always kind of like amazed me. I've never pictured a spider as a pet. Like a tarantula, okay, all right, it's big. But like the jumping spiders, I never pictured it. So, what do you want to do with the jumping spiders?
it's more of a personal investment for myself because I like them. I enjoy them. I love watching them kind of move around, and they're just cute and little. I do not do tarantulas. I cannot do anything bigger than a jumping spider, so I stay far away from them.
Kara would be proud of you then on that aspect. But so you just want to enjoy them, just keep them for your own personal pleasure. All right, I get that. Julia says she had a pair very large, like person. Okay. So, oh god, I just lost my train of thought.
You want a jumping spider,
Dude? Sometimes you should see the tarantulas that I find down here in the basement. Like now that we've got the one window that we used to bring wood through and everything. Now that that's fixed, hopefully it stops the tarantulas, as Kara would put it, from coming in. But these were like borderline baby tarantulas for how big these suckers were.
I used to get them cave crickets or whatever the heck they are in my basement.
The what?
Whatever those, like, daddy long leg crickets, whatever those bugs are called. It's like cave crickets or something.
Oh, like the big black crickets?
I don't know, man. They got weird legs on them. They're weird.
Huh. And see, I've got a big spiders, and then those, I don't know, the centipede fish or whatever they're called, the silver fish or something like that supposedly eat spiders. I don't know. They're not doing their job though. If that's what they do.
See, Tara got it right. The alien looking.
You mean Rip?
Real Rizzo. He got it. He knew what I was saying.
You know what? All right. The only spider I would want to own is they make the huge webs, and they're like they've got the black legs, but they're yellow and black body, and they've got like a white head to them. Like
Like
you
the
know
orb spinners?
maybe that's what they are. I don't know. Like
The venomous?
they probably are. That's probably why I like them. But like
Okay.
they're really bad at like I see them around all the time. Like they make these big elaborate webs, like they're yellow and black, just like they're gorgeous. Like, that's
want
probably
one
the
of them,
only spider I'd ever want to keep.
I like that cobalt blue one.
What?
Yeah. See, they know what I'm talking about.
What? Like
Man, you're living in that cave with the geckos.
a cobalt blue spider? Like, is this a spider or tarantula?
Tarantula.
Okay. Now, do they get big? Like the cobalt blue ones?
They're not like the bird eaters. They're probably like yay big.
That's a big freaking spider.
They're pretty.
Yeah, they're big spiders. Yeah.
Like I'm not afraid of spiders by any means. That is too damn big for a freaking spider, in my opinion.
My wife will move out.
Oh, dude, I would be divorced like that. Either that, I would be kicked out of the house within in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Terrace is the
See? Thank you, Tara.
Oh man. So, all right, let's move away. Or what? Are there any? Well, you've got the crested geckos yet too that you're working with. So, what are your? Which I had everybody check out their morph market. They've got some killer looking cresties up for grabs right now. So go check out their morph market because I did do some stalking on morph market as well. Love that Xanthic Lily White. Like,
Xanthic Lily Whites, man, they're sweet.
100%, dude. 100%. I saw that. I just thought, damn, like that's
even a nice lily white, dude. Some of them, just a nice lily white, man. Wow.
We have so many that we're growing up that like super excited for what they're going to produce.
Don't know the sex of.
We have a good idea of it.
That would drive me so nuts.
So tell us about your crested plan.
Yeah, so we are kind of in almost every gene there, except for like the genetic hypo the fire that is newer. But we have sables, we have a lot of cappuccinos, a lot of lily whites, a lot of Xanthic stuff. I'm really into the tries, and I don't know if I really like the tries. The more we've gone to flora fauna the last 2 years, which is like the gecko creme de la creme of their expo, right? It's purely like high-end gecko morphs. So you see like Brian Butler from Altitude there, and like Tiki geckos from David from Tiki's geckos there. They have a lot of up and coming like gold standard geckos. So does the head look like it should? What does an ideal head structure look like? What is the coloration of it? And so we picked up a couple geckos there that are possible pet pixel. The pixels have like exactly what it says, pixelation, like on the back dorsal. So those are really cool. We want to pair that to our try and get some nice babies out of there, and hopefully, or triple X try, but it will get some we'll get some hopeful nice babies out of that, and try to extend that bloodline out a little bit too.
Don't they do something with like the points on the back or something like that? They grade them that way or no?
Yeah. So they do like how how many, like, if you have a pinstripe, is your pin broken, or is it a pure like pinstripe the whole way down? The like I said, the head, the structure on the head. Do you have floppy crowns, or are they like perfect? Do you have the exact number of crowns?
Back of it too.
Back.
Yeah, the back. Like, is it like a big hump on the back, or is it like a nice smooth kind of slope?
See, I wish they had that
Yeah.
with ball pythons, man. Those that
Well,
have bug
this-
eyes.
This dude, like, this literally sounds like we, like, crested geckos have walked into the world
Of
dogs
quality.
almost. Like, with this,
Yeah.
like, this gold standard, like, this pedigree, like, you must meet these qualifications.
Yeah.
That's deep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really deep.
There was the guy who won last year, or had the best of show last year. His babies, like, he said his business has helped a lot because of that, but also the baby price went like skyrocketing. So all the ones that he's producing for it are like double the price now. So it is kind of like a pedigree. It is helping that.
Nice.
That's freaking, like, I guess, like, when you live in the snake world like we do, like, you kind of don't realize or pay attention to how fine-tuned other aspects of the industry are. Like, that's very, very impressive. Like, I don't know.
Well, you
how
got
else
it with
to
the
put it.
carpets when they go for locality, lineages.
But all right, you've got, that's lineage, though. Like this is like you're, like, if you wanted to go carpet wise, all right, with this, you would have to go by the head structure, and then you've got the banded, then you've got the stripes and all. Like, I don't know how you would go about it, even doing it with snakes in general. But, like, I guess someone could say the same thing with the lizards though too. But here we are. Like, that's just, I'm kind of like, I'm really shocked at this. Like, I just never realized that there was that deep. Because I had Brian from Altitude on, when was that? That was 2 years ago, maybe, at this point. And I know he blew my mind with a whole bunch of crested gecko stuff, but, like, he never mentioned, like, a pedigree thing, basically. Like, with,
I'll tell you what, like what he was talking about with head structure. I've noticed, like, with the ball python, some have like a different head structure where, like this one female's got like a solid like pit bull head structure, and then some, and you got the other one's got like a little kind of a narrow, face.
Yeah. No, I have noticed that too. And I've noticed it too with the carpets as well. Like, some of them get that big spade head, and other ones keep like a little bit more of a, not as defined spade to them. But then I've also noticed though that sometimes that also is determined by the sex. Like, I've noticed that some of my females have a little bit more feminine looking head than what the males do. Now, now I do have the one male I have, he does have a very slim head, like like some of these females do. But I've noticed that a lot of males have a very, muscular looking head structure, where the females have a little bit more feminine look to them. So, like, what if that anything like that goes with the geckos though too?
As far as like they're just the head structure, or
just structure in general, like, is there any differences sex wise with the structure of them?
just the dimorphism, right? The females are going to get a little heavier, but the males seem to be bigger. I don't know necessarily about the structure, like the head structure. I think that there have been some really nice males and really nice females that have like ideal head structure there. But I mean, I noticed as well with like some of the boas, right? And you can almost do that pedigree with, I think, ball pythons too, where not only just the head structure, but the coloration of them as well. And I think carpets as well, right? Like, you'll have some that are like super bright, like contrasty yellow and black, whereas the other ones you'll have kind of a dull and like kind of a gray washed,
like a muddied up color.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of mud in that yellow sometimes.
I think that there is a huge growth opportunity between. The problem is who's going to be the one to define what those categories are for each of these species.
Yeah.
This is true. This is very, very true. And then you've got whoever comes up with it. Then you've got to get people actually follow it.
Well, it's got to be someone
that's
with
the
no
bigger
skin
step.
in the game too.
Well, yeah. Then there's that too. So let me run another channel sponsor here quick, and then we'll be done. We'll be done then with the sponsors, and we will continue on with this. Hopefully, this plays the first time I click it. If not, we'll have a black screen, and then I'll click it again.
Make sure you check out Nathan at Infinite Possible Pythons. He is your guy to go to if you want to get into the Bang project. On top of it, he's working a bunch of awesome ball python projects. Kahua geckos, Leachianus geckos, crested geckos, some scaleless corn snakes, and he is your one-stop shop for all your branding needs. So check him out. Check out Chris Shelley over at S Reptilia if you need a high-end ball python, blood python, locality boa, or colubrid. He's also Pennsylvania's distributor of Coco to Go and the Chipper, and he can also hook you up with some rats. So make sure you guys check out Chris over at S Reptilia.
Go hit Chris up. I'm actually surprised Chris isn't on here tonight. I really would have thought he would have jumped on here with us. TK, what's going on, brother? I hope you're having a good holiday with the family.
Bosa.
Keeping the family and your wife in my prayers and everything still. So hopefully everything's going as smooth as it can be for you. But good to
I don't
see
know
you.
Bosa, but I love him. He always says hi to me.
Dude, I tried to get him on the channel to come
Yeah.
on the live. But like here's the thing. If he would come on the live, he's still got to be on all these other, watching
He's
the
got
other
like
live
5
streams.
phones
Like
running.
it kind of interferes with this thing, So he, needless to say, he's a little too busy to be on here with us. But Kike, it's giving you some shit, bro. Good to see you. Like I said, I hope everything is going well for you. One of these days, I'll con you into getting on here though, because he does have 2 of my carpets, and I
Nice.
swear the one, like I think I saw again, sold the wrong snake to somebody. I think his one girl should have, or no, it was a male. I think his boy should have stayed here. I have a tendency of doing that. You sell them, and then you get updated pictures, and you're just like, yeah, I shouldn't have sold that one. It happens all the time. That's why somebody should jump on that one that I've got in the rack before I decide it's not going anywhere. Help me with my problems, folks. Help me with my problems.
But then you can buy the babies.
Well, see, here's the thing that I wouldn't mind doing that, and actually that's part of like my whole plan is, the people that are buying them from me now, when they do go ahead and breed them, they'll more than likely have other bloodlines thrown into the mix. So then I can use what they're producing to freshen up my stuff and kind of, just get the bloodlines going a little bit. Oh, man. But, all right, so we cover. Is there any other gecko stuff we need to cover? Or did we kind of get all the gecko stuff before we dive into the snakes?
Oh, snakes.
So we also do lychees as well. Lychees and chihuahuas.
Zombie lizards.
All right.
The zombie
The
lizards.
leeches first, but the chihuahuas. I love me some chihuahuas.
Chihuahua.
I love saying it too. Like it's just fun to say. But tell us about the leeches a little bit. Like, what's it like keeping those? Selling those and everything. But then let's talk about the chihuahuas as well.
So they have kind of a depends on the female, right? And the time of the year. They have a tokay mentality in that sense.
Ooh.
So you can get barked at and potentially bit by a lychee, which
That's a big freaking lizard to be latching onto you.
Yeah, and it's pretty intimidating when they like perch up and they like squawk at you as well. So, but for the most part, they're in their little their tubes and just kind of chilling in there. They're pretty sedentary. Yeah.
Well, I always thought that, because Nate's got them, and his always just seemed like they just don't really give a crap about anything going on around them. But I didn't know that they could become biters, and that kind of would, that's a big freaking lizard. Because some of those, they get like a foot long, don't they? Some of them.
Yeah. Yep.
see, yeah,
Your
that-
entire forearm. Some of them exceed that as well. Like the melanistics, the Mount Cougars. They are massive. So they, yeah. I don't know if I would want to get a bite by them at all.
dude, yeah, like that. All right, that paints leeches in a whole new light for me. Like, I always picture them as kind of like maybe like the bulldog kind of, because they always have like they've always got all the wrinkles and everything, or like they don't look like they'd be like that.
Yeah. No, they are awesome, and so it's like a progression too, right? You pick up a crested gecko, you're not gonna really, you can feel the nails. You pick up a Chihuahua, same thing. Pick up a lychee, and it's like death grip
Because
onto
can
you.
actually, okay,
Yeah.
but yet they still
And then
got
they
the pad so they can still stick to the glass, and okay.
Yep, and just poop and like smear it all around. It's great. Yeah.
Oh, ugh.
That was one thing I do remember Nate telling me that they'll just crap right on the glass all the time for you.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people they'll get their lychees out, and it's like a reoccurring thing. Every time they get the lychee out, they just like projectile poop on them. So we are lucky to have that, but it's
Hell no, that'd be a lizard flying across there. No way in hell. But I mean, there's more people working with those than some gecko species. But
Yeah.
is there different morphs with those too? Because I haven't really noticed. All right, so what do you guys have special with yours going on?
it's more so like a locality between the morphs, right? Like they have Nuana, Nuami, which are more of like the smaller, like size wise, and they have more of like the pinks to them. Then you have like the GTXs, which are like the bigger ones, which have more of a like dark green, red, purple barring. And then you have like they do have melanistics as well. The only thing with like breeding and like trying to produce them is the barrier to entry, or rather say the cost of entry for lychees is so expensive, right? Like the babies are $300-400 constantly, whereas the adults you can get adults for $5K if they're breedable.
Well, I was gonna
So-
say that like lychees, I always thought was like in my opinion, a high entry in. So I don't think I've ever seen one for under 1,000. Now maybe I was just looking at more of the adult size too.
Yeah, the babies you can't really tell the colors. So that's the other thing. They go through like an ugly duckling phase, and
I get the ugly
as they
duck
get to that
phase.
point, yeah, they'll eventually get to the point where they look nice, they have the coloration, and that's more like the $1,000 ones that you're seeing. The babies are like super small. They all have kind of like a grayish tone to them, and those are like the $300-400. But
Okay.
those are also the ones that people sell either potentially sexed or unsexed. So
Gotcha. Now, is Karis very similar for them, just like the cresteds and stuff, where you can do ambient and all that stuff, and the
yeah,
big
just a
deal?
larger scale. Yep, just a larger scale. They're way bigger. In the wild, they'd actually eat baby crested geckos. So
Oh wow!
if that's anything, yeah.
And dang, what the hell is it with all these lizards eating one another? I thought, like, I didn't realize these geckos were that mean to one another. This is like some hate shit going on here.
There are some communal, but yeah, the lychees are also like pairing them to breed. They have like a monogamous kind of relationship,
Oh, okay.
and so when you pair them, you have a 50-50 on if they're going to be a good pairing or they're going to fight. So, and if they start fighting, you're not going to get anything from them, and you have to separate them.
And then you got to work on finding one that. Oh, dude, that would piss me off.
Yeah, so the money that you spend on that one male that you thought was going to be perfect for her, it's not, and you have to go, yeah.
That could really set you back. Like, how long does it take for them to get to a breeding size?
2-3 years, 2.5, 3 years.
Okay, that's a hell of a yeah. That's a big setback if you only get one pair, and yeah, that would suck. Now, are they known to kill their mate, or try to eat their mate, like say like some king snakes do and stuff?
They won't eat them, but they will kill them.
Okay.
They will bully them, and you'll see sometimes the males and the females will have scars on their head. That's because the other one bit them and they have gashes on their head. Yeah.
Good grief. I did not realize. John, are you okay there, brother?
My stream is going in and out.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you joined us, brother. Yeah, now you can be the voice of reason.
We're gonna stop talking about all these damn lizards and start talking about some snakes.
Yeah.
Well, we got to talk about chihuahuas yet, and then we'll start talking about snakes because I love me some chihuahua stuff.
I like lizards. I got a bunch of lizards myself. I'm just in here to talk some shit.
Your mom's a chihuahua.
So yeah, like tell us about chihuahuas and stuff because I like all I know. Nate bought a couple. I don't even know if he has a full pair or what they are. But like they're like his almost reminded me of like an army pattern color scheme, and like I just thought they were the greatest looking thing in the world. Is there more to the chihuahuas because they than just like that as far as like morphs and colors, or like how's that whole aspect with them?
Not necessarily morphs or color. I mean, colors, yes. Like they have that army. They have like the pinkish colors. The high whites are where you're going to get like the high dollar. Like the more white they have, and it's like paper white. That's where you're gonna see like a jump from a normal $800 gecko to a $12,000 gecko potentially.
Some white chihuahuas.
Yeah.
Wow. So like a regular chihuahua costs like what, around $800?
No, they're definitely cheaper.
Okay.
But like $400, around the same as a lychee.
Okay. That's
a baby. Yeah.
That's still an expensive little lizard. You think about it. Like that's an expensive animal.
Yep. They're like a bigger crested gecko. They're smarter for sure. Okay. Crested geckos are kind of not the, and we compare them to our intelligence, but like crested geckos are like out there. So
I always look at it like all the crested geckos that I always make that joke that like they scared them. If you scare them right, they just drop their tail. And to me, that's just not very intelligent.
They also don't grow them back, so that's like the weird thing with all of those as well. So
yeah, then you end up with the frog butt, and Now, do the chihuahuas grow theirs back?
They do, some of them. So there is a locality that does not grow them back, but the Pine Islands do. Yeah, the Pine Islands do. They just don't look the same after they grow back as well. It's
makes sense.
Yeah, it's like a dark, weird-looking tail, but still functions.
All right. Well, hey, at least it grows back. That's the thing. Because that's the big thing with the cresties that always freaks me out is the frog butt thing. Like that's just not a lizard, man. You gotta have the tail. So let's talk some snakes. John, what snakes do you want to talk about? What's up, Marcel?
I don't care. Talk about anything.
You've got hog noses, which you guys do a little bit with. You've got boas we could talk about. You've got a little bit of balls.
No colubrids?
Well, the hog nose, we have we also have one corn snake. We tried to do the corns, it's not our thing, but we do have one.
Yeah, they're cool. I like corns.
All right, so I guess we'll start at the top where you started. Hog noses. What kind? What you doing? Breeding? Keeping?
So we've started from what, I don't know, the last 4 years. Right. So we do a lot of snow stuff. We have sables, we have Sunburst Project stuff, we have Toffee Belly, Mai Tai stuff, Super Yeti. So I mean, same with the snows, but
yeah, Super Yeti.
Yeah, we haven't gotten into like any of the Lucy's or anything. We've contemplated. We've had a couple opportunities to do it. Just never made the jump into it because I feel like there's not much you can do with it after you get the Lucy's.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I feel like the price on those is going to drop for sure as more people produce them because you could get a really nice snow. It's going to pink out a little bit or tone out a little yellow, but you'll still have a whitish snake for
Right.
a fraction of the price. Yeah.
Definitely. I hear that. So we've been looking at the Lucy's too, and I'm just waiting for the price to drop to if we even get into them. Just like you said, as soon as you go white, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people are like, oh, I'm selling I think JMG does a lot. He'll sell the Lucy with the Arctic, so he'll sell like an Arctic Lucy. I'm like, I don't know how you can tell it's an Arctic. I think it's something to do with the belly, but yeah.
So that was all right, because I'm completely hognose illiterate, which is one reason why I was glad John jumped on. Are the Lucy's like the bells are for ball pythons, white snake with blue eyes?
Yep.
They're black eyes though.
They're black
Or
eyes.
reddish. The red eyes, I think they're red eyes actually.
Red, yeah, they're like a reddish. I think they do have some black, don't they? Or have that black, the red pupil.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're black. They're more like a fire gene, Jeremy, like the super fires.
Okay.
Dude, the sables have come down in price. Wow.
Yeah,
I remember the sables were up there.
yeah. But the what's it called? The hogs have definitely come down to very reasonable.
Wow.
You're just like everything else, pretty much. Like some stuff's holding, but some stuff is definitely moving down.
Yeah. I always like the sunbursts.
Yeah.
Sunbursts are really, really nice, and I'm hoping that we produce them this coming year. We have a male and 2 females that are ready. So
That's sick. Yeah, sunbursts are cool.
What are your main focuses project wise? Like your big main I guess hognose do recessives as well. So like what are your big main recessives with the hognose that you're focused around with the whole collection?
lavenders.
Lavenders?
Huh.
We have a really nice lavender male. They produced a lavender female last year, so we know that the female is 100% het. So we're trying to get some lavender condas. It started to branch out a little bit there, and then contemplating on breeding our lavender male to an albino female, just to get the double het. But
No, they're cool.
yeah.
Oh,
You ever worry about pairing that male up and walk in and the male's halfway down her throat?
Yeah.
dude, I
Well,
didn't even think about that. I forgot that
Dude,
they
that
do
would-
that shit.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah. I forgot that the hognoses like to eat their mates too.
We had a female last year who the male was like just nothing to do with her, and we're watching them. We always make sure that they're doing the little dance to make sure that they're good. This pair was definitely the weirdest one because she wanted everything to do with him. He didn't want anything to do with her. She actually tried to bite his side, not like you would think of trying to eat him, but like she would like start nudging him and then open and bite him and then
Get
start
on
nudging him
this.
again.
Come on, boy.
I'm like absolutely separating them. We are not dealing with that.
Come get you some. Come on,
Yeah.
boy.
She was doing that little love nibble.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would freak. See, that's the other thing. I remember Adrian talking about that when he was on. Like that would make me paranoid to invest or more invest high on a male because it's just the females that are eating the males or the males eating the females too. Oh,
It's the females eating the males. The
Okay.
males aren't going to get big enough to eat the females.
okay.
If your male is big enough to eat the female, you are doing something weird. So,
Okay.
Yeah, you put 2 girls in together.
yeah.
Well, I do know someone that tries to put 2 males together. And
Yeah, I
expect
know a
something to
guy.
happen. It just, It's why you never take people at their word. You always double check.
Always probe.
Always probe pop something.
I see somebody in the chat asked how we feed all these reptiles. I just don't sleep. I go to work tired and I live off Monster. So
Well, because you guys do all this with your working full-time jobs yet too. So it is nice that you've got that team husband and wife ordeal going on. Like that's gotta be the saving grace of it all. Because how big's your collection with everything that you're doing?
Yeah, I think you have to think about it. I think you have to think about it. It's too big. We have probably at least 250, 300 geckos.
That's a lot of Slurpee.
Yeah, at least 100 steaks right now.
Do you got these all in separate areas in your house? You got them all like kind of.
They got them
Yeah,
in
we
that
have
green
separate
room.
areas.
Separate areas.
Yeah,
I see. I see your room's green. Just joking.
we have so we have kind of a room in our basement where we have the ball pythons and the boas, and we have it ambient temperature about 80 degrees, and then they have their racks. But we have our colubrids and our geckos also separated. We have our geckos upstairs, and the temperature is typically about 72, whereas the colubrid area closer to 75, but wanted to keep them away from the ambient of 80.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I said, like if people doing multiple species, it definitely helps to
split it up
with the temperatures and all that.
Yeah. Once you dial it in, it's so much easier.
Yep. That's we came from a bigger house with a basement and all. We did when we used to do the lizards are all heavy and all the colubrids and the balls. Like I said, they were all in separate areas. But since we moved to this place about 7 years ago, we dialed in basically balls. I did some hogs because they could be around the same temperature. And some colubrids. So we got handcuffed basically into what we could do because of spacing.
Yeah.
So
we have 2 Asian water monitors too, so that kind of takes up a lot of space as well.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you if you had monitors.
Big, aren't they? Like they're pretty big, freaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two black dragons.
Whole bedroom for that.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
All them different species, all the different carriers. It's definitely a lot of work. I can always respect that.
We typically had our friend come over and feed all our animals while we were on vacation. This year we've like taken a look back at it and we're like, I don't know if you could do that anymore. Like it's a lot. So
you become a slave to it. There's no doubt. Definitely, you'll look back and be like, wow, no vacations really, no this. Because like I said, it is a lot to tell somebody to do this, and it's a lot to remember for somebody.
Yeah.
Especially to the way you like it.
Exactly. I'm sure they have their own system. Each one of you do a certain thing, right? You guys are.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hands on with everything, but don't you have sectors or whatever? So
she'll do completely. Yeah, she'll go do something completely different than I do. Yep. Especially with like the geckos. Like, I'll go through, take all the bins out or like the little cups out, spray them down, and then go back through and feed them. She'll do all that for each one individually. So, like, depends on how you want to do it, but.
Who's
somebody
faster?
I don't know.
Yes, you know it.
Oh, come on.
Chris is trying to start a fight live.
It's like I said over here, like when we get busy, like baby season, my wife will. Then I'm usually adults, basically the pairings, the feeding the adults, all that kind of stuff. She does the babies, so she'll start getting real crazy here with the babies, feeding them and all that stuff. And I let her just because she has her own system. Like she yells at me when I go in there.
I do everything myself.
Like I'm doing this rack, and she has her system. I'm just like, all right, we're done here, right? I ain't getting in a fight over this shit.
I know, like I have not been on vacation since basically I've started this whole thing, and this year will be the first year that I go on. I told Karis that we're going to go on vacation for a week.
Yep.
So this will be my first vacation in way too long.
Who's picking up the duty?
Well, it's a good thing I have a mother that is not afraid of the snakes if something needs to be done.
Ooh, she
was one that has always kind of backed me on the snakes because she loved them as much as I did to an extent. Yep. So mom's going to be house sitting. Now, granted,
going to pull clutches?
Leaving for like 3-4 days, like balls are self-sufficient pretty much, do the water right before you leave, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've got better with them. Like when we first started doing that kind of stuff, I would panic stricken, like Gettysburg show or something. I'm like, oh shit, like we're leaving for a weekend. but it's got better. And I do have our daughter who does now. I got her pretty deep into being okay with the snakes now. She still won't mess with the adults, but she'll play with the babies at least. And they run out of water a lot faster. The water balls are smaller and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like 6-7 days, yeah, I start getting panic stricken. Like I can't even enjoy a vacation away if I know somebody's here doing all this stuff. Like,
Yeah, I'm numb to it anymore.
My big
I was going
fear
down the shore
is-
every weekend, so
weekends, whatever. Like I said, I do a lot of shows a
Yeah.
year. Like, Gettysburg, we'll do even a Hamburg. It's a 1-day show, but it's 2 days. Like, we'll pack Friday, blah blah blah. So do unload Sunday. Like, I started getting more comfortable as years went by. Before it was like, oh shit, I got to come home. I got to unpack all these snakes instantly. I got to do this. I got to do that. But I started doing 2-day shows, and I'm like, all right, I could chill out a little bit. It's just time and experience, right?
Oh, it is. Like,
well,
I
that's why I leave the teenagers home when I go on vacation.
Right. But I
They know
start
how to do it.
that clock is always going in my head. Like when we were going for 4 days, I start getting stressed.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got to get home, make sure this is going right, and all that kind of shit. 2-3 days, I'm like, finally, okay, and you don't got to hear my mouth.
I get like
I
that
like-
if I got eggs coming.
I'll say that's my thing right there. Is my worry is that I'll either have eggs coming or eggs hatching.
Well,
That is the only thing at this point right now that scares me. Now, I'm hoping with the time that we picked to go, there shouldn't be any clutches dropping.
I was gonna say,
Shouldn't
will
be.
mom pull
But
a
it's
clutch?
the hatching aspect now that
Will Mom
I'll be
pull a
contending
clutch?
with.
I got the kids trained to pull clutches. Like that's the one saving grace about being stressed out. Like the kids know how to pull the clutch. I will have all the bins ready. This is what you do, and I showed them how to candle the eggs and blah blah blah. If not, I got Mel on speed dial, and I have Mr. Ron on speed dial. So, like I said, we like I feel better about that kind of shit.
What about Jeremy? Is mom
Jeremy?
gonna pull clutches?
Yeah, Jeremy, how about it?
If a clutch needs to be pulled, I'll call my buddy Mike. I'll let Mike pull the clutch.
You were going to shit your pants. Them
Oh, you got a
carpets
mic, huh?
station.
What's that?
Jeremy's
I
gonna
think-
lose his mind. That group's gonna blow apart. He's gonna have the most serious mental breakdown on them carpets lay while he's on vacation.
I was gonna say, is Mike
the
gonna
carpet's
pull?
lay while I'm on vacation, dude. Something's really fucked up.
I was gonna say, is Mike gonna pull a clutch from the carpet? That's kind of risky.
Get ready for a oh man, oh let me hear wee wee wah wah. He gonna be crying.
Dude, if the carpets wait to lay to then, all right, they will be dead by that point because the eggs will have gone bad inside of them. No, which that's another thing. Like, dude, Celeste still has not laid. Like, she is a month.
Talking
Did
about
Did you soak her? Did you soak her?
I did soak her. I soaked her. I massaged her. I put freaking music on. I lit candles. I changed the water bowl, and I threatened to smack her with the baby powder. Nothing worked.
I said the smacker with the baby powder.
Yeah.
What's this? A Diddy party? What the fuck is going on over there?
She's got me worried. Shelly, I talked to Shelly, not that. Yes, it was last week I talked to him about it. And he goes, I'm not worried yet. I'm just like, okay, all right. Maybe
Is
it's
she
just
still
me.
drinking water? Is she hydrating?
Well, dude, I'm not down here like
I mean, you're
watching her
filling up her water bowl.
24/7.
Jesus
She's
Christ.
acting normal.
The moment
Right.
Chris shows emotion is when you jump off a bridge because Chris is like the most chill, calm, cool, collected dude. He shows emotion, that's when you go, oh, shit.
Well, I figure if she does not drop this week, like the next weekend, I'm making a trip down to Chris and we're gonna ultrasound and we're gonna try to palpate whatever's inside of her out or
I thought
something.
you had an
Something's going
ultrasound.
on at that point.
I thought you had an ultrasound.
I do have an ultrasound.
Oh.
He's gonna get
He
he's
can
gonna get a
see.
professional to use it.
Well, trust me, I know what I see. I've sent him the pictures of what I see, and he agrees that it looks like eggs.
Screenshot.
But
Yeah.
dude, it's
probably a big old dookie
worrisome
turd.
when it's not your
This
animal.
dude's measuring what's it called? The liver and shit.
No,
gallbladder.
for God's sake,
His
no.
ultrasound a big old dookie turd.
Hold on, there's a kidney, there's a gallbladder.
It's a dookie with ripples.
I would hope by now I would know what all that shit looks like. Damn it! But
Like
it is
3
worse.
rats.
Basically,
Are you happy
because
I
it's not
came
my
on?
animal.
He's like, shit, man, that show was going in so smooth. You had to come in here and fuck with me.
Yeah, but way to get out of here, John. Anyway.
All right.
And he's back.
Back to the guests, because like I said, we interrupted them. Let's go.
Yeah. Where
So-
we?
Snakes. Go.
Now we did hogs. We're now on to boas.
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about some
What kind
boas.
of boas you got going on? And
So we've focused on the fire genes. So super fire, we have a super fire female that should be ready to go here soon.
Nice.
Moon glow.
Ooh,
Uh,
those
yep.
are freaking
Yeah.
Moonglow IMG. Oh my god.
let me ask
Yeah,
you a
we
question.
have.
Have you hatched boas yet, or whatever?
Yes.
Litter. Okay,
Litter.
sweet.
Yeah. We also have been focusing on some of the call bloods and the sharp bloods.
Nice.
Yeah.
I definitely favor the sharps way better than the calls.
Yeah.
We have a double het sharp leopard female.
Ooh.
Just trying to find a male for her. So she's kind of just hanging out for now. But
That's a bad.
once we, yeah,
You need a male
I've seen some of
sharp.
the babies. Sharp
Male.
leopard, sharp het leopard, or leopard het sharp. Yeah,
leopard are some of my favorite boas. Like they're so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna make send a text out here real quick.
because the albino with the leopards.
Yeah.
I'm a failed boa breeder.
They are hard.
sharp pet leopard. You said
I did
right?
everything wrong, and I think I did them pretty
Sharp
early.
leopard,
on
yeah.
Us doing snakes, I did them pretty early, and I just did them wrong. Like the temps were just that off, and cooking male sperm, good stuff like that. Got them to the point they would go, just nothing ever good came of it.
Yeah, and it sucks because like if you don't do it like to the T or get super lucky with it, you walk in one day and you're like that smell of just like fresh laid babies, and you're like go over there and it's a bunch of slugs, and you're like,
It's so disgusting too.
yeah, because you gotta clean it too.
If I knew what
The
I needed
female is
today,
not
I might be
happy
better
about
at
it.
But I basically was traumatized from it. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with the boas. We're good.
Yeah, the females once they lay, if you don't catch it at the certain time too, it is a pain to get like the female out, as well, because she's just wanting to light you up the whole time.
Oh, so she'll get defensive over the babies and stuff. Just okay.
If you catch it at the right time, she'll be tired, and you won't have to worry too much about it.
How many boas you guys have going on over there?
Probably over 50 at this point right now.
So you guys are big.
Oh wow.
You guys are big into the
Yeah.
boas. That's what's up.
Yeah. That was definitely our biggest, like our favorite species to work with.
Yeah, boas are awesome.
Nothing against the ball pythons, but like they're more interactive, so
Oh,
that's the biggest part.
Imagine that's something more interactive than a ball python. I never
Yeah, I know.
would have guessed that. Mike says he's got a hypo blood het sharp. That's a male, and a visual hypo sharp IMG.
Gotta get that leopard in there.
So if any of those strike your fancy, I can send you towards Mike. But
Okay.
no leopard with it though.
I've only seen one person on Morph Market that has a leopard sharp, whether it's a het or even pos het. So we got it
Oh,
from
they got,
Ozzy.
So what?
Oh, okay.
Leopards either sharp or call too?
Yep, they have a couple other ones too, like
Oh, I didn't
EWC,
realize
which
that. I
is-
thought it was just with the
yeah.
albino.
The sharp and call they're albinos. They're just different strains of albinos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know they don't work with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know it was that way with leopard either. I thought leopard was just a leopard.
They do have different what are they called? Like the Sonoran leopards. They're locality specific leopards,
Okay.
but for the most part, like you're not gonna find ones that typically aren't compatible with the leopards, right? They are recessive, but you could typically tell they have huge markers if they're recessive. So like our female is a het leopard, but 100% she's gonna prove.
Yeah. Nice.
That's cool.
But you can only breed a sharp line leopard to her.
I could breed a regular leopard, like I could do a call leopard to her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get the albino out of it. It would just be leopards.
He
Okay.
says he does have a pair of leopards, but they're het anery too.
But they're not albino.
But they're not het albino.
Yeah.
But they're het anery too, whatever anery 2 is.
Yeah, so there's two types of anery, or a couple different types of anery. But the one you'll see the most is anery type 1.
Okay.
Anery type 2 is a little odd, like you're not going to see it very often. And then there's RDR, which is another type of anery. That's where you get like the black devils, like the IMG
I
aneries.
love the IMG
Yeah.
Motleys. I had a Motley, albino Motley.
Well, IMG
Yeah.
Motley's turn all black, correct? Like I know.
No,
Mm-mm. No.
they have like a white, translucent like white around them on the saddles. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Fucking sweet.
Well, maybe is it the IMG aneries then? So IMG and something turns like the snake all black.
Yeah, so it's RDR. It's a type of anery. It's what the hell is it called? Red black-eyed aneries. Yeah, BEAs. RDR is the company who founded it. Yeah, so black-eyed anery and IMG, they'll create that black devil, which
Okay.
they'll come out they'll come out darker. Yeah, they'll come out darker as babies, but each shed they're just getting darker and darker and darker, and eventually it'll be black. The ones that look really nice are the ones that have kind of like a white outline on the saddles, and they're completely black. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the small boas. I like to get a pair of Hog Islands.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'd love to get Doomerals.
white face. Yeah, Doomerals
Doomerals
are
are badass looking.
They used to be so available everywhere, man. Doomerals, like, you used to see them like 10 years ago all the time. You don't see them like you used to. It's crazy. Have you been bitten by boas,
Babies.
babies?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at dodging the adults.
I've been rocked a few times. It's not fun.
Yeah. I've seen one of our buddies, he got bit on the arm, and we saw him like the next day, and it's just all bruised up. So
Yeah, they'll punch you depending what it is and how big.
Oh, yeah.
It's the punch that hurts more than the bite.
Yeah. I can believe that.
Yeah, they nail you. They wind up and get you. They'll hit you.
Yeah.
Now you had said that you like the sharp line better than the call.
I think everybody does.
What makes you pick the sharp over the call?
Color, man.
coloration, it has like a deeper color. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look at like a I don't even know what it'd be. Like an IMG, even an IMG call versus an IMG sharp, the sharp just maintains that color so much better. It doesn't yellow out as much, it seems. And if it does yellow out, it's a deep yellow and it has more of a reddish orange saddle to it. Whereas the calls, they will yellow out and just be like a light hue yellow. And it's kind of ugly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other projects are you working with the boas?
We just got a labyrinth. Yeah, we've got some lipsticks. So it's the call line, but it's like a lime bread type.
Yeah.
It's like a deep pink. Yeah.
I remember
they're
I had
amazing.
a Sunglow boa call line.
Yep.
And I remember seeing a lipstick line.
They're harder to find, I feel like now. The lipsticks, they're just expensive. Not necessarily harder to find, but because most of the people that are selling them are keeping the best ones back to breed for the next time. So.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the boa market currently? Because I know it seemed like, and this is kind of going off of what my buddy Mike had told me, boas were like huge not that long ago, but it seems like the market kind of got harder and harder and harder before the ball python market got to where it's kind of at right now, where it's really hard. So, like, is that true? Do you see it kind of going to be coming up on the rise here, or what's your thoughts on that?
It definitely has ebbs and flows. The way everything's going right now, everything's down, right? So that's a bummer. But I don't feel like boas are going to be where they were like peak COVID, right?
Okay.
Because they're bigger snakes, so people will get them as babies. But I don't know if it's just because of we're enthralled in the reptile industry and we're around reptiles every day, and those people that aren't into it see boas and they're like, oh, that's so cool. Or if it's like we are we have like that mentality of they, even though they are kind of going up and down with the markets, the bigger snakes like the retics and everything, you see everybody trying to get smaller and smaller. So like if boas are going to go up again, I think it's going to be like the hog islands, right? I think that is going to be the smaller species or localities. Doesn't matter the look of them, really. I always say pretty sells, but there is other aspects to it, like pretty sells, but if something's too big for somebody, they're not going to do it. If anybody does any bit of research and they realize that, they're not going to buy something. So same with the Asian water monitors, right? Like people think they're so cool when they're these little things, and then a year and a half later, you have this 4 or 5 foot monitor, and it's kind of
like a pit bull.
Yeah. So I don't know if that really answered your question, but I don't see it going back up to where it was.
Okay.
No, I don't think any of this gets back up anywhere near COVID. Like
I don't think anything gets up to COVID level either, but it seems like the boat, like it seems like you used to see more boas at shows than what you do now.
You'll see, like I said, the longer you do this, you'll see basically the roller coaster. Like everybody will be balls, boom, ball market drops a little bit or whatever happens. Now it's, I want to try something new. So they'll try a boa. They'll get a pair of boas, maybe they'll do a threesome of boas, and all of a sudden, like I said, they watch them grow. Oh shit, these take up a lot of room. Certain people's mentality, right? So basically, they're like, oh, I could put 40 balls where I could put 3 boas. Then they go back, oh, balls again. Then they jump on like, oh, but I want a carpet, and then they try that, like, oh shit, same thing. Everybody, like I said, they run into the wall, and then the next thing takes off. Just no different in the Cresty market. Like everybody was like balls, and they're like, oh wow, look at all these new Cresties. Everybody jumped into Cresties, like we're gonna do diversity, we're gonna do different. What happened is they got overbred, just like balls or just like anything else, right? The next thing you know, supply went freaking sky high, demand went down some. So now you have all this inventory out there, or whatever you want to call it, and where'd it go? Well, start selling it cheap, right? You start panicking. Boom, I got babies coming. I got this coming. It'll straighten itself out again. I just don't know how many years it's going to take after this one. What's going to be high end is going to be high end. You're always going to have a high end audience, a mid grade audience, and then a pet person that don't care, that want to spend cheap. Oh, cool, I got to pay pretty, or whatever. So, like I said, the bow market. Said for the last 14 years I've been doing this, I've watched it. Like I said, it just goes pretty. Like you said, pretty snakes do sell, but there is a limit to how many boas somebody can have. So it's not like I said, come to a ball table, but like, oh, I want this pair, and then they come back 2 weeks later, I want this pair, and they put them in one of these behind me, and you can do boas for like the first 2 years, right? Next thing you know, oh shit, these things need like room. They need the things behind you, Jeremy. The next thing you know, like, and then they cost whatever they cost, and then they go, oh shit, we got to slow these boas down because I can't afford $400 cage per one boa and all that shit.
Because we have we do have freedom breeders, and the only reason we got freedom breeders is because they had like a sale where it was free shipping for their Black Friday. So that was the only reason we stuck with freedom breeder.
Oh, yeah.
But to the point of like getting a 6 foot freedom breeder, you get 6 of them for the same price you would get for 20 of the ball python adult racks.
Yep.
So it's
it comes down to space, right? Like I said, if I could afford it, I'd have 10,000 ball pythons and all other species of snakes. But you can only house what you can house, and then how many times you hear, I got to move this to get this or do this. Yeah. Once you become like established where you can do room wise, that's when shit starts slowing down. Well, a lot of people that came in during COVID, they bought the snakes. They wanted to get some money out of their investment. So what they do, they breed. They don't really know much about the snakes. They only know what guys like us tell them on these lives or anything else watching the internet. But they really don't know what a market is or how it works or anything. So what they do is they panic. They start throwing the shit out for sale for crazy numbers, right? Start auctioning stuff that should never, ever hit auctions. Like, you're like, what the hell is that doing on auction? Well, it's obviously somebody either panicking, has had it, because how many of us go, I just had enough, fuck it. Like, I don't care what it freaking sells for. Like this, I'm so pissed off, right? You hit your head against the wall. You come back down to earth. Some people do, and some people don't. They're just like, I'm done. I'm out. This is nuts. I'm not making anything, and everything becomes worthless. They just lose it. So we're facing all that shit right now at one time. So everybody's like freaking out, going, everything's dead, everything's down, everything's whatever, because you're dealing with a bunch of people that don't know what the hell they're doing, and you're trying to make sense of it, but they can't make sense of it because they don't even know what the hell they're doing. We can't make sense of it. Nobody can.
If you figure this all out, you've accomplished something.
It's but it doesn't help when you got guys like Will Banks pulling like 50 clutches.
The thing is, he's been doing that since the dawn of time, right? He's been doing this shit since I got into this. He has his outlets. He is established. He does his thing. He could have shown you 50% off sales, no different than me, you, or anybody. But he has his establishment. Well, these new guys get in by 50 ball pythons, we'll say, or 10 boas. They don't have an establishment. They don't have a wholesaler. They don't have anything. So they go to these shows and can't sell their snake because they're like watching guys like me or anybody else. But like, well, he's putting it out for this price. I'm going to drop it $100 lower, and nobody bought it. And then they leave the show crying. They sold nothing because they don't have the outlets or the time or experience or whatever, the bridges they built with everybody else yet to really have an outlet for this stuff. And we can all make it. Like I said, if you do this, you listen, you husbandry, you get the temperatures right, you do this shit, you do this. What people lack the most of is how to sell them, basically, or what to make it worth selling, and blah, blah, blah. Like, we all have byproducts, like every one of us, right? Where does that go? Now, the thing is, what's byproduct? Well, my byproduct's not Jeremy's byproduct, and it's not your byproduct. But like I said, your byproduct and something that I make might be my high end, might be your byproduct. So now you're like in the confused state. So now you're like we're in a traffic jam right now, and like nobody knows how to get out of it. The only thing to get out of it is time, and just literally production is going to go down. New people are going to get in. These snakes are going somewhere that are selling cheap. Now see if they can make them. Most newer people have issues in the beginning, slugging out, doing this, doing that, because they just don't know yet. But if they stick with it, they'll get past that hump. Yeah. It's like anything, right?
Yeah, I know, but what's the point of breeding if you're just going to give it away wholesale, 60% off sales? It's pointless.
But again, Chris, think about when you started. Think about the day you started. You couldn't wait. You didn't care what it was. You wanted to make snakes.
Yeah, but I was planning. Make snakes that I'm gonna. My breedings, I breed to keep
today
1, 2, or 3 snakes always.
You're doing that. You're doing that today. You didn't do
since day one. No, since day one.
We were breeding spiders since day one. We were told they were shit 10 years ago. We're still breeding them.
I was making het clowns. I was making bumblebee het clowns.
I'm saying though, they were into a down market,
and I kept them.
We cried back then. Trust me, I know you freaking to death. Like we're like, what the fuck? Like
no, I hold back animals from every clutch.
I try to.
At least 1 or 2.
But these people, like I said, I don't know. I don't even know who these people are. We're even talking about. I'm just saying, newer people coming in, they want to make snakes, dude. They see it out there. They come to shows, they see these tables of cool ass snakes. They want to be part of it. But they have to, like I said, they have to hit the hard times. They have to hit the stride, right? They had everybody's gonna go through a bump. Like I said, even us, last year was a bump. Like holy shit, we made some of the best shit we ever made and had to give it away.
Yeah,
that's a bump. That's not like, oh wow, like
it sucks.
The thing is though, I'm still here, y'all still here, and a lot of people watching this are still here. Freaking, if you love this shit, it's not gonna matter.
Yep.
That's the
if you're smart about how you do it, that's the big thing. If you're smart with how you do it all.
Don't overwhelm yourself. That's all. Yep.
Don't overwhelm yourself and put yourself out there.
People get overwhelmed with money or animals and care, and they just, Yep.
Like I said, if you're not thinking about it, like, there's definitely something wrong going on upstairs, right? Got to think about it a little bit. But thing is, we're also going to sit here and make some damn snakes, ain't we? Like, so let's go onward. So
it does give out that whole thing of it cleans up the people that are in it for the wrong reasons. You're 100%
too. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what you're seeing now. I
think a lot of wrong people got in during COVID.
When did you guys start? Like what year?
So we started breeding in 2019.
So you were right
2019.
before COVID boom. You guys got in. So you knew what the market was pre-COVID boom, like snakes.
We
were
bought a lot during COVID, but yeah, we got it. We started breeding, but right before COVID. So
like I said, we saw an up like during COVID. Like, everybody just throws the word COVID out there like it's nothing. COVID was absolutely insane. It was insanity. Like,
Yep.
because I remember, like I said, I found a couple price lists pre-COVID, 2017, 2018. Some of the prices are lower than they even are today. And a lot of the people that I talk to today are COVID newcomers coming in, 2020 over usually. Even Jeremy. Chris was around back basically 15, 14, 16.
Yep.
Like I said, I sold Chris a banana clown back at the time. They were out the first year at 25,000, right, Chris? The very next year, they were down to 5 to 6. The very next year, we were selling them under $1,000. We were selling them 600 to.
I paid $750.
I gave you one. It was like a $1,200 snake at the time.
Yep.
$750.
Yep.
But like I said, that's how fast it went down. And like people are like, "Oh my God, the sky's falling." I'm like, you have no idea what the sky's falling from $10,000 to $750.
But I'll tell you what, I took that male to 3 girls, and literally one of his babies, I made my $750.
You make the money back, right?
And you can't do that no more.
Now we have like all the media outlets are way bigger now today. Like I said, even shows like this didn't really even exist back then. So the outlets are way bigger now. So you do reach a bigger audience. But I think the biggest problem with a lot of our outlets is we talk about a down market. When somebody hears that new, it's kind of scary. It's like, what do you mean it's down? Like, I'm gonna hold off on that. That's $1,000. Like, I might be able to get that for $200. Like, we're doing a stalemate with each other. But the thing is, the one thing I will tell anybody, like you said, watching, if you do see a gene, whatever, if it's just a price and you think it's a good price, get it, because you lost a year waiting. You lost 2 years waiting. Like I said, you're like, oh, I want. Even like I said, we were in the bang project. If somebody sees a bang, okay, it's going to drop. We know it's going to drop. It's going to drop 5 years from now. It's going to drop 2 years from now. We know it's going to get to $2,000. We know one day it'll be $1,500. One day it might be $100 snake. But guess what? If you didn't get it now, you lost 3 years of breeding it because you got to grow that.
Especially
the combos aren't made yet. Every snake you would make with a snake like that's brand new. So, like I said, it's the excitement is what you're paying for. And all that kind of stuff. That's why the price is high. We're not keeping the price high on Bang because we're trying to get rich or something. I'm trying to keep the price high on Bang, so basically nobody has it, so I can keep going.
Yeah.
Right? And then somebody can come in and be like, okay, well, you pay for it, so now you're going to respect this shit. So now you're going to freaking literally do your thing. You're going to want your kind of money back. Hey, it drops a freaking couple bucks. Everything drops the next year. Everything drops the next year, but you lost the year. So one thing new people do not understand, they wait for the drop. But by the time they buy, it's already too late.
Especially if the quality's there. If that animal, it looks good. It's what you're looking for, like with a pod. If it's like 80-20, it's what you want. It's the quality's there. Get it. Because you're not going to find that animal. These animals are one-offs. You're not going to, you'll make something similar, but not exact.
That whole rack's full of stuff that I want to make, right? Well, I got to wait for 2.5 years for that stuff. It's like babies I made last year. I can't do anything with any of that cool shit you see there for at least 3 years. Now, if none of that stuff's sitting there and I didn't make it yet, it's made this year, that puts me another year behind.
Yep.
That's the one thing, like I said, I wish more people start talking about. Like, it's not about the crazy high prices or low prices. It's about where you want to get in. And if you breed any snake, I don't care if you bought it for $5,000 or $100. If you breed it right, you will make your money back. If you put on it, you sell it in a year because you saw the price drop. You sold it in a year. Guess what? You lost the money you put on it. You lost all the money, freaking, like I said, potential value. It's done. It's over. As soon as you said, I'm not keeping it, it's over. I know better than anybody. Like I said, we got racks here full of some snakes. Guess what? Some of them never even bred. Why? Well, the value fell out of it, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? Now I lost. Somebody else won. I grew that shit up for 3 years. I did freaking $500 in rats in that animal. Like I said, buy smartly and just go forward, man. This thing will never die. It's just basically it's what the price points are.
And as long as you're staying ahead of the game of it, and you're always striving to make yes, I want to make, say, the Bang Exantic Clown. Okay, that's step 1. I've already got 3, 4, 5, and step 10 already in my head as to where I'm going after that initial hit. Like that's the thing. Like I don't think a lot of people think far enough ahead, and then they become stale.
I was listening a little bit about them geckos. Like you said, these guys got these things squirreled away. Going to hit the road when it's right. You don't sell like these crazy ass things into a down market. So what's he going to do? It's going to release them when the timing's right, and the timing will be right again at some point, and it's going to blow the world apart. Again, everybody's going to be like, "Holy shit,
Yep.
I'm buying this shit," and then basically what happens is it starts ticking all the way back up, and what goes up comes down.
Yeah, release them when you can sex them.
If you're planning on being a ball python breeder or a gecko breeder or any kind of reptile breeder, guess what? That thing's going to the top and it's coming down. But guess what? It depends when you want to get off that ride. If you're planning a long run, 5 to 10 years, 15, 20 years, guess what, man? It's going to do this.
Yep.
It's done it since the day I started. It's going to continue to do it. There will be another freaking high spot. I don't think it's going to be COVID high, but there will be another shining spot. And guess what, man? We're going to fall off the rails again.
There'll be some snake that Justin makes and everybody wants it.
Oh, bro,
Some will spike the market.
Just wait to someone. Just like we're just talking about what we are.
It's gonna be something we make. It's gonna be something we make. It's gonna be a bang something.
There you go. There you
Might
go.
be a
Bang something. Think positive, Chris. Damn it.
DG Xanthics, bang, yellow belly, fire, freaking cryptic worship. You know what I mean? Whatever. But he'll never be able to stop. That's the whole quest, the best part. Same as his boas, same as his geckos. Like I said, you hit the Xanthics. Where do you take that? Lily white. Well, no shit. These other genetics are out there. Let's put this in there. Now we're starting to talk about head structure, and that was a great. Like I said, I wish I was owner for all that shit, because I think the freaking rest of the market of all reptiles should be held accountable with this. Quality matters, and
Yes.
I'm tired of seeing just genetics and just selling because of a genetic, because that's the worst possible way to buy an animal, right? Oh, that's a cryptic.
Oh, yeah.
But guess what? You show it to me, I'm like, it don't even look cryptic, bro. Oh, I had a shit test it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the world's worst cryptic.
Or banana. That's an ugly banana. That thing's milky, dull. That's the ugliest banana I've ever seen, but it's banana.
There are ugly snakes, like I said, and there's a place for them. It's called a pet tank, somewhere that don't give a shit.
We dealt with that with pastel. We dealt with that with pastel. You had the ugly brown pastels, and then you got the lemon pastels that actually held their yellows.
To the point people started taking lemon pastel and citrus pastel off their pastels because they were like, oh, they're all the same. The fuck they are? Jesus Christ. I mean, freaking citrus pastel, like you get a good one, it is rivals. Like what looks like fire and yellow bellies are in them.
Yep.
It's a great snake. Now you put that in another great gene. You put that in another great gene. The things are just glowing at that point.
Yep.
I wish they would get into quality shit with the ball pythons and the freaking bloods and the dime or whatever. Everything. Look at carpet. Boom. But one day maybe, like I said, I'm glad they're doing it with the geckos, because if they start with one, people will look into that and go, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Like you guys are really starting to pay attention to crowning and pinstriping and body composition and all that shit.
I think you've got to get people that will stand behind what the ideal, perfect, look is. And once you can establish what that ideal, perfect look is, then
it's got to be someone judging with no skin in the game.
And I think the crested market seems like it's a lot different. Like that community, it's a lot different than how a lot of the other species stuff is, especially the balls.
Yep.
Because a lot of times it seems like no one, like the quality, who cares about the quality with a lot of this? A lot of what people see right now is dollars.
Well, the one thing about the crested market versus the ball market, right, which I never understood. Crested market, you can show the parents to something, right? Baby could be unsexed, and then people will buy it unsexed. But you show parent A, parent B, they give them cute names, blah, blah, blah. It's not even like a genetic trait. Some of them. They're just calling it genetic. They don't even know. So basically, they're like, oh, this is empty back, blah, 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 blah. And this is parent, right? The people look at the parents and are like, the parents are freaking awesome. The baby's going to be awesome. Balls don't do that shit with. They're like, oh, it popped out this. They're not showing parents barely. And nobody even barely shows the parents. I never understood why.
That, with you looking at it like that, I think that's where the like the Morelia community and the green tree.
Yes.
Those two.
The green tree is a perfect example of adopting that system.
Where, that because you're always showing pictures of the parents
Yes.
on both of those fields with the carpets and the green trees.
Yep.
Why do they do it with green trees? Because they don't turn green. They don't turn their colors for a long time. So you get this little yellow baby or this little red baby, and then you have chances to be blue or and all these kind of crazy stuff we've been talking about. But we'll see, man. Like I said, this is just the whatever side of this stuff. But like I said, saying he's had 50 boas in all kinds of different directions. Talking about the boa market, there's a place for it, man. He even makes badass freaking boas. They're selling.
Yeah.
So,
what's your like end goal with Forkin Reptiles? And I do want to go and say I love the logo, even though it's back. I think it's flipped, but I do love the look of the logo. Like that,
on our side, it looks like it's backwards.
Come on, computer whiz.
There
you go.
There we go.
Like, it only took you 2 hours.
I know Gabby said something that you guys have been working on a new logo, and I'm assuming that this is the new logo, and I love it.
Yeah,
nice,
we
simple. It works.
Our main focus.
It's blue.
Yeah, our main focus in the beginning was we were when we first started to breed boas and the hognose. We were selling those, so our initial logo was just a snake. Now I think we were driving home, and I was like, all right, well, what about having the footprint in for the R? I was like, we can do that. So we're still toying with it a little bit, but I think I also wanted to start being able to get T-shirts. Like she has the old logo on right now, but I think that something that's more of like a watermark in a sense too will be a little bit more able to be variety and different.
Logo's killer. The logo's
Thank you.
straight to the point. It's killer. Like I said, it shows what you're about. There's no confusing what's going on there.
See, I think here's where I think, and John, since you're working with Nate, I'm surprised Nate's not in the chat at least. Since you're now working with Nate and you're seeing a lot more of this end of the whole.
Look at the tongue coming out. The tongue keeps coming out.
I thought you were hallucinating,
You
Chris.
need eyes, too.
Then I saw it.
Simple is always going to be better for memorization. Basically, like something that's just captivating, one solid, like I said, with the F, or like people recognize that and be like, as soon as they hear it or see it, they'll remember it.
Yep.
It's the ones that it's the crazy, like I said, not knocking anybody's design because that's not what I'm here to do. But you have sometimes like it's so busy, I go, what are they even selling?
Yep.
And I'm like, you look at the logo and you're like, what does that have to do with
selling fucking reptiles?
Right? And like I said, I'm not knocking anybody's stuff. Like I said, a lot of people will come into their own and figure it out. I've watched a lot of guys have some crazy freaking logos and then tone them way back. Canova is basically a really good example. Like everybody knows Justin Gabolka's freaking original logo, but when he did Canova, it's like, and he said this is what he is. Everybody hears it now. People know he's Justin Gabolka, but people probably forget the old logo now, which is a really cool logo, by the way.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Canova is just clean, classy, boom. It's just Canova.
It's a letter K.
When you're doing merch and stuff, simple is better,
Sure
in
is.
my opinion, because you can do things like the screen printing. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. You've
You
got
can do like
basically
snake
two
shaped
colors
like a
there,
ball.
essentially for the screen printing.
The thing is, he can expand off that logo so much because he just used the letters. So now, say he does want to do a funky logo behind it for shirts, different kind of on a card. He can now do a whole different logo that's Forkin Reptiles, and that could literally be the watermark, right? Or just the patch on the front of the shirt, and then have something on the back of it. And he can do anything he wants because he does geckos, he does bells, he does this, he does that. He can do boa version, he can do freaking gecko version, he can do all kinds of version, and that tag will be his all around. This is who we are version. Like, you know what I mean?
That's exactly where we were actually talking about that too, because I was like, you know, I'm into tattoos, so like the gators and the hognose and all that stuff. So I wanted to get some shirts that were more in that neo-traditional aspect and have some designs behind it. But I was like, there's gonna be people that want to get to the geckos that don't like snakes and so on. So being able to change that logo and modify it a little bit to be able to do the different species will diversify it, be able to sell to specific audiences, and doing that too. So yeah.
The one thing I would, like I said, I do love my logo, but it's one thing I do wish I would have did is, and I still can at some point, would be the TF, the TFM, because then you could put that, like you said, anywhere. It doesn't have to be the snake in it. What happens if I do sell geckos? Because we do sell geckos, and somebody's like, I don't like snakes. I could do TFM gecko print, and I could do TFM ball python print. I could do the hogs and the womas or whatever. So that's why I said I think the FR with the Forkin Reptiles, that could be anywhere. It could be like a patch on the front of a shirt, and he can have anything he wants on the back. Everybody just knows what it is. As soon as you see the front, basically, it's like, that's one of their cool ass tattoo type logos. Now you get away with going elaborate, crazy, doing everything because that's your logo, the FR. It's just simplifying it down to basically who you are, and then you can go crazy expansive off that.
I always think logo-wise, simple is better. That's just my
as your main logo. Like you said, if he's doing a podcast like this, FR on the top, you don't need some freaking fire-breathing freaking ball python on the back of it, whatever. But it's simple. But some people, that is their logo. It's a fire-breathing freaking dragon or whatever, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's your logo? That's like for everything? It's like, okay. Or fire-breathing engine. I've seen people with freaking engines as and be like V8 freaking reptiles. I'm like, what the freak are we talking about here? Like,
Sorry, I got testicles.
Yep.
Well,
definitely got some ball sack going on there.
I mean, Chris, we all know you do have some slight issues. I mean, like,
look, everyone's not as cool.
We
as
do
me.
know you have issues, my friend. Like,
everyone's not as cool as me. I love turtles.
But the thing is, Chris, the logo is you. Like I said, you build it. Everybody knows what your logo is. It's your logo. It's not
school appropriate. I couldn't.
But
it's definitely not appropriate for some people. But it's all right.
Oh my god.
Here's the other thing, though, with Chris, with your logo, is that it's still simple, though. It's not elaborate. It's still simple.
I'll never forget, man. One of the first shows I ever seen Chris do or whatever, when his logo and shit. And what it was, a tablecloth. So basically, this soccer mom walked by me and set up 2 tables down for me. And she walks by with her 2 kids and be like, that guy got a ball sack for a logo. I almost damn near died. I couldn't breathe. And then her husband's going, what? What? And he's like, his logo is a ball sack. I'm like, they fucking just passed.
Dude, I sell t-shirts like crazy.
Fucking so funny. She was so offended, but didn't know how to. She couldn't even talk. And her husband's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh my god. I was like, oh, that was a
people got dirty minds. That's just 2 snakes breeding. That's just 2 snakes breeding. Come on.
Yeah.
Dirty minds. You got some dirty minds.
Sorry, like people pick up our hand sanitizer, and I said that my hand sanitizer I printed on them, please use before you touch my balls. So people always are like, either get the ones that laugh their ass off or get offended. Like I've had people put them down, like, oh my god, I can't believe that's what it says.
This is another thing too. This is actually a good point, Jeremy. Is that it's simple is a lot easier for people to remember too.
Yes. Yeah, we do. Like I said, even with Nate, we've done a lot. He does a lot of like businesses, like really high-end doctor businesses and all kinds of stuff. The logos are always very simplistic but very memorable. Like when he throws one up, like I remember we did that print because of what the logo looked like, and it could just be like a word, but it's the way it's written out, with the lines through it or whatever's going on. It's like, and I asked him about it. He said, "Well, it's easy, you replicate, and it's to the point." When you have all this flash going on, like crazy flash sometimes, it deters from what you're trying to do. Because sometimes, like I've seen graffiti logos, you can't even read what it says. It looks awesome. Like it's a freaking sick-ass freaking picture art. But you're looking at it going, what does this say? Like, I
trying to tell me.
Like I said, you guys do those shows and stuff. Like there's so many. I'm like, I don't even know who the hell that is. Like I know their face, but I can never tell you what their business name is because it's like graffiti fucking craziness, or the letters are tied into the freaking snake and they're trying to make the snake make a word, and I'm like, I don't know what that says.
I mean, look at like sheets, for example, right? Like that's what I'm trying to like phase it after, in a sense, right? Like they have the sheets, like all the sayings, like sheets happens and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like the saying that I keep going back to her on is like, I love my Forkin Reptiles. Like there's a play on words there. So just trying to do stuff like that with the Forkin and
I know,
trying to
that's
like, just make it memorable.
So
that
what
tripped
was
John up last week when I said you guys were coming on. He goes, "What'd you say?"
Oh, he's the
speaking
Conor
of Forkin,
McGregor. It's like the Forkin. It's the
speaking
Forkin
of Forkin,
Reptiles.
do you guys have kids?
We do. Yep. We have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
So I was supposed to
Okay.
ask, where did Forkin come from? Like, what's it based off of?
So I play games and stuff like that, and so my gamer tag was Fork Your Buns, and so
I like this guy.
it just kind of like phased off of that, and yeah.
So in the beginning, like I said, you guys were sitting down. You're sitting at the table across from each
I
other.
like Forkin buns.
You're flipping names back and forth to each other. What's your wife react to freaking Fork Your Buns? I want to. What's going on here at the table? What other names were possibilities?
I'll allow it.
I don't even remember that far back. Do you remember what we were throwing around?
I don't remember the names.
Yeah, I don't remember the names, but I think like most of the time it was just. I think we were just copying it after my gamer tag. So
When we came up with ours, I'm going to tell you right now. All the shit we've done, it was
Nerd.
the hardest things to lock down because I came up with so many different things, and then like I said, the Triforce. I am a Zelda fan and all that stuff. A lot of people like I get kids walk by, like, oh, Zelda, like because it's Triforce, right? But the thing was, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was thinking about Tri-County area was Tri first. Then I was like, all right, trust, respect, integrity. So basically, then I was like that, and I was like, all right, we have kids in the armed forces, 2 of them. When I came out of the army, I was like, Force, and I like Zelda too. Force. What rhymes? Morphs. It rolled off the tongue. That's why I was like, that's it. This is it. I was like, Triforce Morphs. Who the fuck can forget that? Whether they love it or hate it, it's there. But that's how ours came. Like I said, Jeremy's was easy, right? Warful, you was like, I'm just gonna name it. That's my last name, right?
Well, no, all right.
I thought Jeremy was when I met Jeremy, I thought it was
Nerd.
Waffle Morphs. I'm like, what
Can't
the
even
fuck?
come up with something original.
I was originally trying to figure out something Star Wars oriented, and everything that I liked was already taken. I said, "To hell with this shit." And then I thought the gamer tag thing, which is also kind of why when you said about it was based off gamer tags, all right, yeah, I tried that aspect too. Well, my gamer tag has always been Ghost Phoenix. Well, nothing Ghost Phoenix wise works with reptiles at all.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, that's a complete wipe there on that one.
Yep.
So all I had left was the last name, and I knew I wasn't going to stick with just ball pythons.
What about like colorblind morphs?
Yeah, I got Star Wars. I got
blind bastard morphs?
Jeremy outsmarted you. I got Star Wars in mind because may the force be with you always. But yeah.
This is massively off topic somewhat, all right? But you guys, I think you guys will get an enjoyment out of this. At least Sorrentino should. So I was at Tractor Supply yesterday. I was trying to get spark plugs for the tractor, and I needed to get propane for the grill. The guy that filled up the propane tank was talking to me about Star Wars because I have my Star Wars shirt on. As I'm leaving to walk towards my truck, he goes, May the 4th be with you. And he goes like this.
Oh,
I'm like,
shit. He hit you with the bolt.
I said, you too, but I just kept walking. It's like, I don't know.
He hit you with Star Trek and Star Wars all in one shot. He said, boom, hit that sucker. He's like, nerd.
Dude, I do not know what to say.
He might as well went like this.
I was chuckling, trying not to die laughing because I instantly thought of Sorrentino.
Yep.
And I was insulted all at the same time.
So with you guys,
I can't even do that.
You guys
shit.
will always go down as remember. I will always remember because you guys will be Forkin Reptiles. So that's all there is to that.
Forkin Reptiles.
Or Conor McGregor's
Fulker.
I said it clear as day. I don't know how you got the
He
accent.
said, "Yo, he's like Forkin Reptiles is on next week." I was like, "Fucking reptiles? What are you talking about, dude?"
Who the fuck are these reptiles?
I was like, "Who the hell are these guys?" He's like, "They did not call themselves Forkin Reptiles." He was like, "No, Forkin." I'm like, "Forkin? Oh,
Porkin?
okay."
Who's Porkin?
I said, "That's probably yeah." We went there, of course, but It's memorable.
Oh my God.
So no matter how somebody remembers whether they do that, what I did, it's memorable. And that's all this shit's about. It's being memorable and making cool stuff and being, just good people, and we'll make it. Like it just keeps going, right? Goes for everybody watching. Make cool reptiles, stand behind yourself, and keep on plugging away.
Live in art, brother. Live in art.
So what's your? I know hopefully you guys got a couple minutes left. I know it's 10:30, so I do apologize for going.
Yeah, I gotta
Tomorrow's day off too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. What
Dude,
about
I gotta
thank you?
freaking
We're off
eat,
tomorrow.
Before you ask that question, how did they end up with your background? What happened here? I came in and I got so confused.
They stole it.
Wait,
we were trying to go.
They love the green, John.
I was trying to think of what we could do, and I was like, you know what? I wonder if he has any. I was wondering if he has any video of his room, and I was like, going through one of his videos, and I was like, he's not in that one. I can absolutely just take a screenshot of that and put it in my background.
I've seen you guys
almost immediately.
I see she has little
Yeah,
on her
it's
head.
just AI.
So I'm literally looking. I'm like, they got the same color room as Jeremy. Then I look and I'm like, that's fucking Jeremy's tags. What is going on here?
It got me at first, like, oh, you guys got the same color scheme. Then during the whole mic and speakers being off issue, and anyway, you missed your perfect moment to bust on my ass on that one, John.
Mm-hmm.
But then I noticed that, hey, they've got a mini 130. That looks like my.
That's what I did. I was looking at it. I'm going, son of a bitch, more green walls. I was like, who else is printing the paper walls that color?
Who has all them outlets too?
And I was looking at the high outlets, and I'm like, hold on. And I still look next to her and shit. I'm like, oh, they Jeremy's tags.
I'm looking at that crooked ass water line.
Yeah, see the water line.
The crooked ass water line.
That crappy pecs.
Oh, that pecs right. That little loop-de-loop there for the pecs goes to the hose.
Chris, he didn't even bring that shit to the side and down. He said, fuck that.
Did you use brass fittings? I hope you didn't use brass fittings.
No, I don't think it's brass fittings.
Yeah, they got to be plastic.
No,
brass
like the only what you might be seeing is probably like some of the original piping too.
Oh.
I didn't redo all the piping to it.
I'm seeing what I'm seeing in the picture.
So we touched on all these other crazy reptiles. Now I'm a ball guy. What kind of ball python shit you got going on?
We got into Desert Ghost when it was like at its peak, which kind of sucks. But yeah,
I know. I was late to it too.
Yeah, we were trying to do.
When they were doing the ABC and messed it up.
Before that, yeah.
Yeah. He said
paid like
19, right?
$1,200 for a visual. No other genetics. I think it was just a pastel DG. So, but what else do we have right now? We were trying to do dreamsicle stuff, and then we're like, all right, we're not doing that anymore. We did a lemon drop to a surge, one of kickballs.
Okay. Surge
yeah.
Fire, right?
Surge is his own line. I actually had to go to him and be like, is this actually a surge? Because I can't tell with your description online.
Is it in the Bell complex?
No.
Oh, it's
Can
not
you
a
go
Bell
get it? If you guys want to show off anything, you're more than welcome to show stuff off.
And it was static, ended up being like kind of like that acid confusion, and that was Fred's version of whatever with them genetics.
Yeah.
Surge. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said,
he has
like a fire gene, but I don't know. Maybe it is its own thing.
They're all in the basement, but I think we sold the last one of the surge, but he has it on his website. What else do we have for ball pythons? You've been down there more. And she orange ghosts. Huh? VPI. Yeah. Not the cool VPIs. Yeah, not TSK.
No, you got VPI. It's a good line, buddy. Don't worry.
Don't you?
Shut up, John. Shut up.
That TSK be jacking shit up.
Shut up, John.
Yeah, that's what the surges look like.
The head's cool on this one.
That's just a single gene?
It is.
Different. Yeah, it's different.
It's a codon.
What is that?
It's weird.
He has like 5 of them on his website, but they're like super cheap too, like $200.
Oh,
Um,
that's a cool looking animal though.
yeah,
Yeah, the head's
They-
really neat on it. I like the head.
the babies came out really cool. They definitely took after the pattern, but we also had it with a, an Enchi. We had with Enchi, but we also had it with, the hell's it called? Not spider. What was the gene called? It's not the spider one. It's the same one as the lemon ghost. Not the lemon
Walmart?
ghost. Lemon blast. I don't know
the
why I'm not.
pinstripe.
Yeah, pinstripes. Yeah, it had pinstripe in it, so it kind of threw everything completely off. But it still had like the surge or Enchi look to it as well. It was just a lot thinner.
Gotcha.
Interesting. I've never heard of it up until now.
Yeah,
I've heard of it. I forget how. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, literally. Talked about it years ago, and then, like I said, it just kind of fell off the planet. Like what? I guess that's why they're selling cheap now. I don't know if it went anywhere or what.
I haven't seen it go anywhere. We originally were like when we were looking into. It was probably a couple years into ball pythons that we were in. We were starting to look at the zebra, and we're like, that was one of the like $20,000, and I was confident. I was like, we could do $20,000, breed it to 1, sell all the hets, and then you see Justin Kabolka come out, and he's like, all the pairings that he had with the zebra, they were ones you could not make unless you had the other pairing to it because they were all recessives.
Yep.
So he sold half of it and kept the rest, and I was like, he's already years ahead of everybody else on that. So
yeah, that's definitely the game with the balls. Like I said, once you see it, it's been around. Like once people start really showing them, somebody else they have it. But yeah, zebra gene, it's still holding strong basically for what. There's like 70 of them on Morph Market. I don't know when the drop's going to be on them or not because I don't know. I guess I have to see a lot more made with it.
Well, I guess
they look
did
really cool,
prove
but
they proved it to not be McKinsey from what I remember.
Yeah, supposedly it's like it is its own thing, but it is a recessive, and I guess on Morph Market there's like 70 of them, but it's very limited on what has actually been done with it because like they took it into this or they took it into that, but it was all the common stuff, the pastels, the fires, the whatever. So I guess we got to see what it does with like other genes, like everything else, right?
Well, you figure, I mean, what's the average zebra right now? Still, market wise,
1,500 to 2,000, I would think.
Okay.
But I think like that's the bottom is like the 1,500-ish mark right now.
So it's still very affordable price wise to get in right now, though, with it.
It is. It's just there's so many listed right now. I just don't know when. That's when a drop usually happens. When you got stacks of them that are sitting there at a certain price, is basically when it boom.
Yeah.
Then when they start selling again, the number starts diminishing, and then that's when you start playing with the number back up again versus and then what you're making with it. Like see somebody does mahogany or something that isn't there is one of 70. That's where you can start stabbing at better values out of stuff. But if 55 or pastel, well, they're pretty much bought up at a certain price point. It's the only way is down.
Yeah.
Hacking now. So that goes for any genetic. It said is you can put it out there and you see 65 more of them. The chances are like it's not gonna. You have to play with the numbers a little bit. But if you see one, that one might not be there when you go to look for it again. That's when you jump on it.
I know that's just like the bang stuff that I just made, here this first clutch. There's nothing else like it in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
I can't. So no matter what, I can't release it. So and it's just like this bang stuff you've got stuff that's the only stuff that's in the world. Same thing with Chris. Like we're all kind of at that point where like we can't, we got in the project at the right time.
Yeah, for some stuff.
It's just a matter of you got to work the project properly.
It could be frustrating. It could be super happy. It could be super, oh shit, that didn't go the way I wanted it. It could be all that, but you don't know until you try, right?
Ron says the cheapest single gene zebra on Morph Market is.
Well, there you go. So I was way off.
Holy shit!
I was way off.
I didn't know zebra was up there.
So, Ron, how many are on Morph Market right now? So you said cheapest single gene actual zebra. I know the number's up in the 60s or whatever.
Let me look.
That's a lot of freaking snakes at $3,000 plus.
Yeah. I know. I was kind of shocked with how many bangs were up on Morph Market.
There was
Like
117
18
zebras.
bangs or something.
117 zebras.
117 zebras.
That's
Visual.
bit.
Visual.
That's higher than I thought.
Yeah.
That's almost double what I thought.
All right. Someone can't math here, right?
Yeah,
We got 62, and then we got
that's
a.
that.
Bullshit.
Nah, dude. What are you doing? The entire universe? Or are you doing the United States, Canada?
Oh, U.S., Canada.
If you're doing the world, that's totally different. Like,
All right. Let me do just U.S. Yeah, U.S. only. 117.
hold the fuck up. Now you got
Ron ain't mathing.
hold up.
Damn it, Ron! You were sniffing too many fumes.
62 is set. Dude.
All right, now everyone.
Ron ain't mathing.
Well, while they're mathing on this whole zebra thing, what do you guys, where do you want to be at in like 10 years? Do you want to be just doing this, or is this just going to be a fun thing for you to do, or what's your plan?
I think that it's gonna be pretty much this, like, fun thing.
Oh, wait.
Not necessarily trying to go be the next.
Ron's right. I'm wrong. I had all availability. I didn't have just for sale. My bad.
And he's right. $29.75 on sale is the cheapest zebras on Morph Market to date.
62.
They only go up from there.
Sorry, Ron. Still love you.
So just keeping this as a fun thing, and
yeah, I think that like we're not trying to go be the next, reptile distributor or anything like that. I think we have what we like to work with. There may be some species dropping or coming up here and there, but for the most part, we have what we like, and I think we're going to keep with that. We might get into like some of the newer genes with certain species as they come out.
Shit.
But
you got a new file over there, Forkin. Freaking just followed your page. Everybody watching, follow Forkin.
Yeah, like and share.
Follow them on Morph Market. Follow them on freaking Instagram, Facebook, with all their little.
So links are all in the description down below, folks.
I followed you on Morph Market.
I'll fucking follow you.
Where's his name? There we go.
My bad.
Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Be there.
And they're
They
going to
do
be at
Hamburg,
barbecue
right?
too.
Doing our local support for our PA breeders.
we do Hamburg and we do Gettysburg.
Hey,
We do a lot of the local shows to us.
How you doing, Hamburg? All right.
So we at Hamburg will bring the geckos, but we also do the 3D prints, right? So we design some of the 3D prints as well as doing that.
I wanted to talk about the 3D printed
Yeah,
stuff.
you know what? I'm going to talk to you about that because I want to get something made for my wife.
Do you make the Star Wars ones and all that, or is that somebody else there?
I can. A lot of the times I don't bring it to the shows. I try to be ethical with what I'm bringing to the shows. I bring the Gila monsters and like the lace monitors and the different bush vipers and stuff like that. So try to keep it like within the reptiles. I'll bring, I think, like we have minis, so we'll bring like otters and little baby unicorns and stuff like that. But for the most part, we try to stay within our realms of reptiles.
So 3D printing's a thing you guys do and like?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
I would imagine it's probably a good way to offset table costs too.
They make some 3D printing stuff's pretty damn cool. Like I said,
I know.
It captivates kids to adults. Like, you make the right thing, people just love that shit. It's work went into it. It's handmade. Basically, somebody put some work into that.
And it's trying to get into doing more sculpting is like a complete different skill set, and it is a learning curve. But I can do like the parametric designs. So like we have our own lay boxes, we do our own like hides and dish holders and stuff like that we actually use. So
That's awesome.
So that was what I was going to ask you. I knew you did like the toy aspect of it, but I didn't know if you did like actual like hides, that type of stuff. So that's really cool.
yeah, I do. I feel like they don't sell as well at like some of the shows, because if there's a lot of people that have a negative connotation to 3D printing as well. So why am I going to go pay $10 for this hide where I can go pay $5 for this little plastic,
The little
injected.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find where your niche is, like what actually is easier to sell versus not. I totally get it.
Yeah,
But you know what though? Like just for instance, say like for the carpet, I've got those big the black mold injected VE hides.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have a really nice 3D printed rock looking hide.
Dude, I would
for the displays like this. Now, if I'm putting a hide in with like the ball pythons for some reason, yeah, okay, maybe I think that the mold injected ones, that's where they're at. But for when you're talking like the display stuff, I'd rather have something nice 3D printed wise.
You gotta look at, like I said, his time and how long it takes to like that big ass hide. Them 3D printers, they're not fast. Like they take hours upon hours upon hours running, and then he would have to get it to basically like because they have lines on them and stuff to basically rinse it with that stuff to make it all whatever. The time you'd have to put in to make that hide, he'd have to charge $100.
Oh no, I'd like to see if someone local will make these again. I had Jamie make these.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It fits perfect in my 50s and 55s.
That shit's cool.
Because it doesn't allow them to go on the sides or lay on the top of it.
Perfect.
That thing's awesome. I love it.
Like I said,
we've done some of that with the pencil racks, like the Sea Serpent's pencil racks.
Yeah.
Or the Hognose, I've created some of the hides that fit exactly in there. I was talking to Chris from Sea Serpents. I just never followed through with it. But I was talking to him. I was like, I could do these fit exactly in your rack.
Or like
you could do like a third party kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, they were concave to fit right. That's all.
Yep.
Well, I just messaged you on Instagram. I want to see if you guys can make that for my wife.
It has to make sense, like I said, because that thing runs and it takes electric and his time and everything else. Like it's easy to say somebody like, "Oh, make this," but it's like you got to get the price for it on top of it.
Yeah,
totally get it, man. We do the same thing with the crystals. Like we can order anything we want in the world, but certain shit just doesn't sell. And it's like I don't know why it doesn't sell, but we have to we can't bring it in because it's like it's a waste, right? You end up giving it to people at the value of what it is when you get it, and other stuff just sells stupid. It's like what people want that? Okay.
How big of a hide can you make? Because now you got me wanting to have you guys do a rock printed hide thing here for the carpets.
So with our current printers, we can do a 250 by 250 by I think it's like 300 millimeter. I'm trying to look into getting a Prusa XL, which is a type of printer, which is like double the 2.5 times the size, which would be like, I don't know what the measurement would be. I think it's like 15 inches wide by 15 inches deep by
nice.
It's pretty big.
I think she's limited it at 9x9 or something.
Yeah, I think the 250 by 250 is the 9x9.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can always break it up. Hides are a little different because like you don't want to have like a seam going through where it's like fused together, but it is an option you can do.
Yeah.
Well, rocks you might get away with it because you could probably print the one side, the other side, fuse the rocks, like I said.
I say, you could design it that way, like the one where the seam would be, it's like a rock shelf or something like that, covering that seam up.
Yeah.
It all depends how big that file is, right, and how long that damn printer's running.
Well, that's the other. You know what though? In all honesty, the carpets, yeah, I breed them, but they're more pets anyway, just because like they're out, they're visual. Like everybody knows I get more enjoyment out of them than just about anything. So I would rather dump $20 on hides per enclosure, or even $15 per hide, whatever they freaking would cost.
Oh,
To
dude,
have that aesthetics for me to look at them, just I think there's a dollar value I'm definitely willing to spend on.
I'm gonna talk to you backstage. I got a killer idea for 3D printing, and I wonder if it will work. And I'll ask you after. I'm not giving you all the idea. We're doing this shit. I'm doing it first, suckers. So, then you guys can bite it. But I'm freaking, like I said, I got an idea in my head of something maybe you might be able to do.
Okay.
I'm curious as to what John's bright idea is here. And Sorrentino, I gotta ask Chris.
Go ahead, shoot.
You're not gonna have them 3D print a version of you that's a mimic of the pillow, are you?
No, Tube Octopus.
What the fuck did he just say?
I know what you're talking about. They do like the rock. Yeah.
My wife loves Tupac. Tupactopus. That's what I want. What, you don't like
I can do
Tupac? You don't like Tupac? You guys ain't right, man.
Only on this show,
You
man.
got dirty minds, man.
I'm
Give me
just
some
trying to
credit
figure out
once in a
why of all things to put Tupac's head on, do you put it on an octopus?
It's Tupactopus. What do you not get?
They have one with the rock too.
Octopus. Tupactopus. Yeah, the rock one's cool.
I was 2 years old when I learned about Tupactopus.
Yeah, Tupactopus.
I just feel like the things
Fucking
Chris teaches us
Tupactopus.
throughout our lives.
Who thought of Tupactopus? Who, like you said, who was the guy that was like, "Yo, I'm putting Tupac's head on the octopus"?
Like seriously, like of all things you could put Tupac's head on,
Bro,
what?
that guy was on some good shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and leave it to Chris. Leave it to Chris.
Right.
My wife loves Tupac.
And
Chris-
she also loves that pillow supposedly you got her. So we
Oh,
must
dude,
question
she
your
cuddles
wife
with that
what
damn
she
thing.
likes.
Kristen showed me a lot of world's first shit that I never heard of. I didn't know you make pillow people of yourself half naked. That was like a what?
Why
At
not?
least
Why
this
wouldn't
time he
you?
doesn't have it in the back corner of the room, sitting there all show, freaking
This
everybody
dude
out.
showed up that show with a Milwaukee drill that has freaking 3 horns on it. I'm
Yep.
like, what the fuck? It's
Why
a freaking
not?
air horn. It's
Why
a freaking
not?
air horn. I'm not saying why not. I'm just saying I was 8 years old. When you get defensive up there. Go the fuck out. I'm just saying you was a different animal, brother. You were showing some stuff.
What? Who doesn't like a pillow?
You guys watch the episode when he hugged it all show? Because that was one to go back and watch, guys.
Yeah, that was his last show too. So anybody that
It was like 2 shows ago, I think. Or I don't know.
was
if
it
the
2
last show.
shows?
Yeah, I think it was 2 shows ago.
Maybe. Yeah, you're
I couldn't
right.
even talk the whole show because it was so like I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't remember.
Like it's within the first 5 minutes. If you don't see the pillow within the first 5
Let
minutes,
me get my horn.
you're on the wrong. He's gonna go fucking get it.
He's gonna get the horn, dude. I don't know.
Oh, the horn. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Nate, what up, brother? Wants to
Hey, you gonna print me my own 3-inch killer? Oh shit! I don't know how poor Chris lost a fucking inch. He's going downward, man. It must be an age thing.
Dude, my wife's probably sleeping too.
Look at this fucking thing, guys.
Bam! Look at that fucking thing. Bop, bop.
Well, what? All right, yeah. Like I never saw that in my life yet. Well, why?
It's on a true Milwaukee fucking platform drill thing. Like he brought his show. He's like, wah, wah. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Why would you put a drill or a horn set?
Why not? Why not? That's what I say. Why not?
He's got a point. Why fuck not, right?
Why not? Why did I just blow with everyone probably sleeping in my house? Because why not? Fuck them.
Dude, I'm a. I will straight pull a Roger Rabbit on the to catch my soul flying out of my body. His wife comes down the steps and punches him in the side.
I'm waiting for someone to run down here.
I will literally die on air. Everybody will see me die on air, fucking dying laughing. I will be over.
If that would happen, that would
My
become
poor
the
wife's
very
like
first
sick, too.
clip ever taken from Alive and turned into everything turned in whatever I could turn it into for shorts, reels, all that shit.
I'm waiting for her to pop on here and yell at me.
Did you guys know what you were in for tonight? Did you have any clue?
A little bit, yeah.
Stanley's got a semi-mellow show, though.
Yeah, my shirt's on.
When I started this show, I'm like, oh, this is going to be like a serious freaking reptile show. Nope.
Well, all right. It was at least semi-serious when it was just me and a guest. But when we added all the other pieces to make whatever this is, I feel as though it improved in its own way.
Oh, it definitely improved. It is fun.
Oh, it's a hell of a lot more fun. You get a lot more different views. You get a lot more different information and stuff like that. Like I don't know at all. So that's where like John's years of experience come into play. Chris's, Nate when he's on, Shelly when he's on. Like everybody's got their own bit to add and make this what it is. And I think that's what was a good move. And I'm glad that when I talked to Nate about it, that Nate's like, no, I think you're looking in the right direction.
Well, we kind of said you were too nerdy.
Well, sometimes things are.
I love you.
So your show schedule this year is going to be Hamburg and Gettysburg, right? Is that did I hear it correctly?
So we also do like Mid-Atlantic as well.
Okay.
A lot of they're within a couple hours of where we live.
All right.
We try to stay within that. We've done some shows where it's like 2 days, like going to the Pittsburgh show. It was not for us. It's not necessarily like it was just, it was not necessarily long, but it was long actually. The first day we were staying till like 7 p.m. Yeah.
You never did a Repticon?
No, but we live within like an hour and a half in Baltimore. Just haven't taken the dive into it.
Yeah, that's
Repticon's a very, very used to be a great show. Like it used to be.
Yep.
But it has fallen off. I guess you should say I still do Repticon because Repticon used to be my favorite show, believe it or not. Like it was just fun. But still withstand to do okay at Repticon. People still do come to the door, like if you ever want to try it out or something.
It's a decent show. I go for the rockfish fights, but
well, it's fun. Like I said, if you guys do end up ever coming out to one, we got to eat. Like, the vendors and stuff, you guys are definitely welcome to come out and hang out. And so that's my favorite part of Repticon. If that'll tell you anything, like cool, we sell animals, whatever. We go hang out with the friends. Like,
and that's the hangouts like Gettysburg, Repticon.
Yeah,
like that's what makes it. Like I love going out for the food. Like Repticon, the place we go to, by far the best breaded rockfish bites in the world that I've ever had. Like
where are you talking about?
They're at that place that's with the turtle shells.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know they had that there.
Well, dude, they got like the best breaded rockfish bites in the world.
Gettysburg has that new place we get. What the hell's that place called?
The Barn.
The Barn. So
yeah,
you guys definitely invited the next Gettysburg show. You guys come on out to that. That's freaking killer.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that place.
And that's Gettysburg the same way. I love you see my friends, blah blah blah. Yeah. So again, we make a weekend out of it. Like I said, it's always great to sell animals and do well, but
yeah, we live like 30 minutes from Gettysburg too. So
really,
yeah.
Jealous. You guys should go to the barn like once a week.
I've never even heard of it. So
oh my God,
you guys got to come out. We go out Friday night.
Eat.
Like I said,
banging.
Stay in contact with one of us. Jeremy, I call Joe. Joe sets it up and all.
Yep.
The promoter of Gettysburg. But
we should go out Friday night.
Come on out Friday night. We go out to the thing. It's all you can eat. I think it's like $25 or something. So it's pretty.
It's not bad.
Yep. So you pay separate, but it got like everything. So, like I said, I'll say about 40, 50 of us go out the night before. So it's like, Christmas Sea Serpents, Joe, everybody, Jeremy.
Are you familiar with the old teddy bear factory? Like they did
Boys Bear Factory?
Boys Bear?
Yeah,
That's it.
You are?
That's where it is.
It's the old Boys Bear Factory.
Yep.
Okay.
They refurbed it.
It's freaking cool as hell inside because like they went off the hook.
Exposed beams, so neat.
Got arcade in it, all kinds of shit.
Well, we can definitely check it out because I mean, like I said, we're like next door to it in a sense. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we'll do. I can't wait to Gettysburg. I love that place.
July, man.
I don't have many animals.
It won't be here before you know it. I'm freaking slacking this year, so goddamn snakes, hurry up.
Dude, I'm honestly, and I don't know about anybody else, but I'm afraid if I'm even gonna have anything available really for Gettysburg.
Same.
Like, it really dawned on me that a lot of this stuff that's like I'll have some stuff. It's not going to be a lot.
You know what dawned on me this year? Like I said, I never even really thought about it until I was talking to Ron about Ron's a landscaper. So he was like, he knows the seasons, right? So he's like, man, this rain at the end of May is usually not like this to this extent. It's usually April weather right now. We've been having a cold, a hot, a whatever.
Yeah.
And he said the rain, we're pushed back like a month and a half almost, the way the weather's reacting.
Yeah.
Well, so are my snakes. Like I said, you ever want to know what's going on in the world? Mother Nature knows.
Yeah.
Like the snakes, like I said, I'm usually like clutch, 20 something, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm clutch 11, but they started laying later. Like I usually be packed for freaking July's Gettysburg. Now I'm like, I might have a clutch or two to bring. We'll see. And
yeah, I know. I'm with you.
Left but it is. I think where the seasons are. The animals will tell you.
I mean, I've got a clutch due to hatch. The majority of them will be for sale the beginning of June.
Yep.
And then everything else is like towards the end of June.
I'm in the same boat, Jeremy.
Beginning of July. And it's like, that stuff isn't going to be ready.
Yep.
So it's just kind of like, shit. Like,
then we get nailed.
This time frame is not adding up. And with what you were saying, John, about the whole being a month off, when I used to do a lot of fishing, several years ago, before we moved and everything, I did a lot of fishing. And I had told my cousin, it's like, dude, it seems like every year the bass spawn was getting far later and later and later. And it's funny that you guys saying about how everything being about a month off, because when you would hit peak spawn, when I stopped fishing there, basically, it was basically a month off.
Yep, the animals always know, man. It's crazy. Animals, plants, trees, everything. It does know. We usually this time of year I power washed the Outback. That's what I was doing for whatever we were getting, the house ready for summertime, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, like we power washed all that shit last week and the weekend before, and the trees usually fall. Like I have it pretty down to a science. The trees fall. They're bullshit. They're little freaking speedy helicopters and all that.
Little helicopters.
Yeah, I'll stick into your damn freaking outdoor furniture, your grills, all this shit. So I'm like, cool, freaking, it's mid-May. Let's just power wash. Son of a bitch. Did that shit does not fall this week? Like, holy crap, and just cover everything. I power wash everything again. I'm like, it's just off. And like I said, Bron being here and him doing this every year for 30 years, cutting grass, he's like, oh, John's definitely off. Like,
I agree.
Insane. The grass is growing at an abnormal, crazy rate. He's going over these things fucking 3 times to cut these lawns. It's like because he needs to be on the next job and doing whatever. So he's like just losing time on top of it because he has to make sure it's right. People are bitching. People are freaking out because there's no day to cut in between because it's raining. And I'm like, oh, man. So hearing it from that aspect, it really made me think like, holy shit, maybe that's why these snakes are doing what they're doing and everything's late and just a theory. So there's no real science behind it. It was just, I don't know. I don't even know what the hell got me tangents on it, but shit.
There's got to be something to it,
nothing.
I mean,
they always say it's like the barometric pressure from it. So
yeah, we had all these cold spells coming. Christ, man, what were we down in the 50s and all week?
Yeah,
times mid 60s all week, and then the next week looks like the same again.
Well, see, you know what's going to happen though? We're going to be cool, and then the week of the barbecue,
Oh, it's gonna be 100 degrees.
It's gonna be hot as all hell.
100%.
And everybody gonna be sweating and cursing my name again.
And then it's gonna be the end of the year, like last year, man. Summer, you're like, oh my god, it's 90. Next thing you know, it's freaking waking up to a 32-degree day. You're like, holy shit! What else?
What if Popeyes is open?
We don't have it. These breaking seasons don't seem like they exist anymore. It's just like boom hot, boom cold, boom suck, boom great. Like, okay.
Sortino, what are you talking about Popeyes for?
Yeah, I didn't eat dinner. I'm thinking about getting Popeyes.
Good grief. You should remind me. You sound like Dom. He's always obsessed with Popeyes.
Dude, Popeyes.
Love that chicken Popeyes.
Love that chicken Popeyes.
Well, guys, it is 11 o'clock. I think we've had a great episode. I definitely do want to have you all back on again, so that way we can see kind of what some of the stuff you produced here, you know, maybe the end of the season or whatever, you know, get you back on and have another hangout session. But I had a very enjoyable time tonight. So thank you very much for joining us tonight and being on.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Gabby, we got to get you talking more there, dear.
The outro. Where can we find you? Gabby.
Where do you want to find me?
Where can we find you?
I'm everywhere.
Where can we find Forkin Reptiles?
At which show?
No, just anything.
Like,
Shows,
anything?
Instagram, Facebook.
Everywhere. You go to our website, that should be listed. You can find our link tree and you can go everywhere that we have available.
You guys have a website. All right, cool.
You guys do YouTube?
We not necessarily. We were thinking about starting to do it, starting to show like some of the baby geckos and stuff like that. Doing some of maybe care guides for some of the species that aren't very well known.
Definitely, yeah.
Do it. Just
do it.
I will tell you this much. Doing
it.
those rural care guides like that will be so valuable to your customers because if they have questions, you can just right off the rip, you can answer them, but you can be like, check out this video. Here's the link. You send them the link and then just tell them if you have any questions after that, feel free to reach out. But I think this is going to get you squared away. Those videos like that are so valuable and like they'll last a lifetime.
Yep.
Because I know like some I have a lot of the videos I've done, I'll tell people like for the carpet pythons especially, it's like go watch this video, go watch that video, you know. It'll explain it better than me trying to explain it to you through text. It's like just watch the video if you've got questions after that.
And you get the visual.
Yeah, then you get the visual. You like the videos dive deeper into it. You can
people go, my snake is on YouTube.
Dude, like there's been a lot of people like that they think it's neat that their animal was on YouTube.
I'm gonna try it this year, Joe. I'm gonna put together clips and I'm gonna have you help me edit. I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna try it with a couple clutches.
We'll do it, dude. Plus, I need to get down there and do a facility tour thing again anyway over there. So
roam in the box and see what the hell happens. And just like I don't know what these genes are. Hope you do.
So what you're saying is, John, hold on here. Hold on. We're going to have this.
Head on over to Triforce Morphs for the best knockoff $5 snakes on the East Coast you're going to find. So while you're there, grab a crested gecko for Tree Fitty, folks. Every snake from Triforce is like a box of chocolates. You have no idea what hidden genes you're going to get. Triforce Morphs. Who knows what the hell's in it?
Well, that's what you...
And when he said $3.50, he meant $3.50.
$3.50.
that gag one will forever live.
Like a box of chocolate.
Like a box of chocolate. God, I still have Nate's gag one up here too. One of these days I'll play that again.
This is hilarious. That was a great show.
Oh man.
No, guys, it was definitely awesome meeting you and freaking. I've seen you guys at the shows before, but I never officially met you.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. I think our next show is Hamburg, so sure we'll see you guys out there.
I'll make sure to stop by, say hello.
I will not be at Hamburg. I'm taking back Hamburg off.
So I'll see you in Gettysburg.
So I'm not at another expo until Gettysburg. It's just because of like I sold one snake today, so I've now got like think I have 4 up on Morph Market now, maybe 5, including the carpet up on Morph. But other than that, I mean, I don't have enough to justify doing a show at the moment, sadly. And it sucks because I want to do them, but
What side
I'm
you guys
not
set
gonna.
up? What side you guys set up on Hamburg? Left or right? When you walk in the door.
Left. Yeah, we're right behind Kenny from Dirt Daddy.
Okay. I think it is your table I stopped by last time. You got a bunch of prints there or something, or
Yeah, we started the 3D print our displays for the crested geckos, so it's
I did see that.
pretty tall
Those
and
are awesome.
I think I
looking.
stopped by and talked to you for a few minutes about something.
John, hold on. I'm gonna pull that up quick because I did want to make a mention of that. Hold on, let me pull it up here. Because that was literally, I love that thought. Plus the chameleon. Let me show. Hold on, the chameleon that they did, folks. That's just awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. I had to have seen that pic.
So that was the chameleon. But
Where's that Tupactopus?
All right, now I'm not gonna be able
did
to
for the
find.
model.
If they make your head on a fucking octopus, I swear, holy shit.
Oh, dude. Oh my god, if they could make my head on that'd be sweet.
All right, why can I not find?
How do we say this? Soldentinopus or something. I gotta come up with something good.
Soldentinoed.
Pussy Soldentino.
Oh, gee.
I should have screenshot it because now I can't find it. I think I'm down too far.
It might be on Facebook.
Yeah, we gotta get you guys on and show some of your crazy animals, man.
Yeah,
No,
we're
that's another
upstairs
thing.
right now, so I'm definitely down to show some animals.
All right.
Oh, I know it was ooh. Here, I'll show this quick.
Gotta get them back.
Ron.
What did Ron say?
There's the
That's cool.
blue.
Talking about chest wieners.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, see? Again.
Oh, send Chris into another complex. What?
He's stirring the pot.
He was that freaking far down.
So it is on our Facebook. I can see that.
Let's see. On the.
All right, we get the gist.
Hey, I wanted to show off because it was really cool. You need to
Spend 2
down
hours
for,
like Jeremy goes through his phone.
Hey, you guys all know you like to watch me scroll. Hush. All right, I give up. Go check out their Instagram and Facebook, and then you will see the picture that I'm trying to find. But let me do this. There we go. But that is going to be it, folks. I do greatly appreciate everybody tuning in and joining us for. It's been 3 hours. It's been a while since we've done a 3-hour live, so it felt good to do a nice long one here.
What's that carpet doing behind you? The one up at top.
It's laying eggs.
Wait, which one? The one that's hanging from the light here, or Xander?
That one.
He's just crawling around doing his thing.
Oh,
That's Xander.
I was like, is that thing laying?
No. But then you got the gelatins here. That's its tail, but then it's laying across on the LED light bar.
Yeah, I got my Barons. They're coiling up with the cord that goes to the heat panel.
Oh,
I'm like, you little jerks. I'm like, you got that damn branch.
Well, how do you have the
heat panel here, and the cord's going right out the side, and I have it strapped, and she's coiling up top there.
I gotcha. See, I know, for my cord, I've got it taped on the one, but Ed has, I don't know what it is. He's got something set up there where you just drill the plastic over top of the cord and you can't see the cord.
Huh.
And then they can't wrap on it, too.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do something.
Because then
the other one wasn't.
With the heat panels, I've got the heat panels. He has them tied up against the sides so that way they don't wrap around the cord.
Oh, okay.
So that way, that part there, They can't get it on the heat panel, and then the light cord's covered up with that strip. But anyway, everybody, this week's video, hopefully, if they all shut out, will be the unveiling of the first bang clutch here. So I'm excited about that. It's awesome stuff hatched out. And yeah, have an awesome rest of the week. Have a happy Memorial Day, everybody. Don't blow your fingers or your feet or anything like that off doing stupid shit with fireworks or lighter fluid lighting grills. Just don't do it. Don't catch your house on fire. Don't do anything dangerous. Be here for next Sunday while John's doing whatever he's doing. I don't even know I don't think I have a guest planned for next week yet. So I'm going to have to figure out some guest stuff.
I'm giving you Italian intro or exit, whatever you call that, outro. You just sitting there just talking. I'm doing a hand thing.
Okay.
Shameless plug. The running Memorial Day sale. Everything on my Morph Market's on sale. Freaking crazy ass deals, crazy ass snakes. Maybe wants to follow or go check it out.
That's true. Yes. I also have some snakes on sale as well, including the very last carpet that's available. So definitely go and check that out if you are looking to get a killer, beautiful looking carpet. So, Sortino, you got any sales going on? Or did you say
I mean, I haven't marked anything on sale yet, but I'm probably gonna. And I got some adults. I got to put up.
Everything's for sale.
So I will be releasing probably some adults here this year. Actually, I know one of them I'll probably be releasing at Gettysburg. She's just got to get back on food from laying.
Yeah.
But, anywho,
So
check out the sales on everything, everybody.
13 up, and I'm about to put another 15 up. So
nice. And don't forget, go on, click the link for Forkin Reptiles. Go subscribe, follow, do all that shit after this is over. Get it done. Give them support. And like I said, check out their Morph Market, see what they got cooking up over there. And that's going to be it. James, Gabby, thank you very much for joining us. Just hang on here for 1 second. I'll end this and it'll kick us backstage, and then I'll bring us all back up once the thing actually ends. Hopefully, everybody, this thing actually plays the outro. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. It's StreamYard being whatever the hell's StreamYard's issue is. Have an awesome rest of the week, and we will see you Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern here. So have an awesome rest of the week. Later.